you do understand that you are the future, okay? And Africa is the future. We are headed very fast to be the first world. And we cannot do this without the youth and the power of the youth, and the youth embracing technology and innovation. As a country, we are investing a lot in you as the youth. So we do ask you to partner with us, make the right decisions. I always say that people complain there are no jobs. By the way, the jobs are in your hands. The undersea cable was launched yesterday. We are the Silicon Savannah. What are we waiting for? You cannot wait for somebody else to create jobs for you. Create the jobs for yourself. Be creative, be innovative, take advantage of technology, and get our economy moving at a high speed. The best part about it is that you do not have to reinvent the wheel or make mistakes like some of us have made. By the way, I know you all think I'm youth. I know I look like youth, but you know, don't be confused. I insist on sitting in that space. But as I'm saying, take advantage of technology. Take advantage of the infrastructure that we have. Take advantage of these forums. Some of you have come up with some amazing ideas, but they die at such forums. As the CS said yesterday, think about how will you convert that into a business opportunity. Think about your ask. How will you go to market? Seek mentorship. You have a lot of professionals sitting in this space today, and they've listened to you, and they should not walk away from here with some of you not reaching out to them to take advantage of the great ideas that you have. So I urge each one of you, and I challenge each one of you. I look forward to next year when we have Pwani Innovation Week to listen to at least 5 of you who've commercialized your ideas. Can we agree on that? Okay? So we are here to support you as a government. We are here to support you as private sector. Please do not shy away from us. Talk to us, get our contacts, and then let's see how we can support you. Make sure you walk around and take contacts of all the companies that are showcasing here. I see training opportunities. I see Konza here, which has a hub for you. I see Liquid Telecom. I see Huawei. I see Safaricom. I see Moringa School, okay? So take advantage of the fact that they're all here. They're all here for a reason, because they see talent. And for once, the talent is not about Nairobi. It's out here at the Kenyan coast, which is a beautiful destination. How are you marketing this destination to the rest of the world? Through your innovation. So I leave this challenge with you, and I look forward to us hearing from at least 5 of you next year about how you've created jobs, you've made money, and you have scaled your business across the globe. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you very much. Makofi kwa Laura tafadhali. Laura, I don't know if you realize that you have challenged us, and we are up to the challenge. Mbona hata mni-support ni vile na watetea alafu mko kimya? Si challenge tutabit? Challenge tutabit ama tutabit? We'll do it, eh? Pastor Laura, see you next year. We are ready for you, and we are really waiting. I'm sure Mungu akituweka tutakuwa tuko hapa to show you what we are made of. Stephanie, I'm waiting for a cue from you, just to know if Susie Kitchens is ready for the keynote. As we wait, I would like to recognize the presence of an actress, a model, and a former TV host, very notable for her role in Taidi High and now Zora. Sarah Hassan, kindly simama tu tukuone kidogo. There she is. A round of applause for her for coming. Thank you very much for being with us at the Pwani Innovation Week. Thank you very much. We much appreciated for your support. We are waiting anytime now. We have Susie Kitchens to do the keynote before we start. Obviously, later on, we have very, very, very exciting panels. And of course, the Women in Tech panel is the biggest today. What everyone is waiting for. I've had people asking about it. Kutoka tukiwa kule juu. I think the interest in that particular panel is extremely high, and so the expectations are high. But I can see the panelists are also, they didn't come to play as well. Usni, I see you, and the rest of the panelists, I can see that they are very ready, and they said they didn't come to play. So prepare yourself for that particular panel. Wamesema itakuwa moto sana. Anytime now we have Susie Kitchens, we'll go live with her. We are connecting with her online. so that she can be able to give the keynote speech. In the meantime, kindly karibuni tena. If you're at the back, you can keep moving to the front so that we have other people occupying the space at the back. And so we have minimal interruption as the function keeps going on. Thank you very much for every service provider here. And also, I'm just reminding you that kuna booths kule nyuma za exhibition. Kindly get some time and go upitie pale kwenye booth. You go and get as much information as you can, get the contacts that you need, and you're able to utilize them in the future. Usisahau kabisa kutembelea booth zile ziko kule nyuma, so that you can be able to have some gainful experience at the booths. I'd like to recognize the presence of Kas Nadia, who's just walking in. Karibu sana, Madam Kas. Thank you very much for joining us for the last 3 days. We cannot even say thank you enough, because that means so much to us that you're here every day with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Karibu sana, Madam Kas. Also, as are we ready now? Tito is telling me that you're ready. Okay. Thank you very much. Now over to Susie Kitchens for the keynote. Thank you.
Sorry, the video is not working. Shall I just... Okay, thank you so much. And hello to Pwani Innovation Week. I'm delighted to be back with you. I've enjoyed this event for a number of years now. Sadly, this time just by voice and remotely from the UK. But thank you to Mahmoud and the Swahili Pot team, and of course to Michael Onyango, always for keeping me involved in your events. So I just want to take a few minutes to talk about the UK's approach to innovation and where we can find synergies with Kenya and the coastal region in particular. I was previously based at the British High Commission in Nairobi, where we enjoyed very productive relationships with entrepreneurship hubs around Kenya, and of course particularly in the coastal region, working on science, technology, innovation and creative issues. And I'm sure that you will all know Sheena from the UK Tech Hub and our High Commissioner Jane Marriott, who continue all this excellent work and take it to ever higher levels. I am now based in London, where I'm supporting research collaborations in science, technology and innovation between the UK and partners around the world. The UK has really high ambitions for our work on science, technology and innovation. We're putting this at the heart of all of our international relationship partners. We are increasing our government investment in these partnerships, and we're working to make them all cross-disciplinary, using a model that I know is very familiar to you, where you bring together the creative and technology in such an effective way. There are 3 really important elements I want to mention to this. One is talent. It's so important that we are inclusive in this work. I love that you've already mentioned this morning, including people living with disabilities and the youth. And I know your next panel is around women in technology. That is so important. We must have a broad talent pipeline and work across
most of all arts. Well, this is the 3rd edition, supposed to be the 5th, but because of COVID-19 and the restrictions that were posed by the government to curb its spread, therefore this is going to be our 5th edition. This event, Pwani Innovation Week, Pwani Innovation Week is an event that kick-started in 2018, and this is supposed to be its 5th edition, but it's 3rd because of COVID-19. So far, so good. Day 1, we had lots of preparations taking place, a lot of panel discussions among very important visitors that were present. That is Chief Ilhan Abbas, who was present from the county government of Mombasa under Western Management. We had Michael Onyango, who is the chairman.
Extended an invitation for my minister to come and visit Kenya for Kenya Innovation Week later in this year. And I very much hope to come with him, where we can look at your innovation strategy, our innovation strategy, and the potential for us to work closely together. I hope that Pwani Innovation Week is an enjoyable and productive occasion. Congratulations on bringing so many people together to talk about these important issues. And I hope you'll continue to see the UK through the British High Commission and me based in London as friends of Pwani in your endeavours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susie Kitchens. She's played a very important role in Pwani Innovation Week since its inception in 2018. I would like to call upon the CEO for Takaful Insurance, Sumaya Hassan, to come and say one or two things. Karibu sana, naomba tumkaribishe. Ameondoka? Sumaya Hassan. Oh, she's on phone. Okay. I would like to call Dr. Mandi from the National Museum to come and say one or two words. We are in your grounds. We are honored. And thank you for giving us this space. Asante sana.
I know I'm supposed to be talking tonight, so I've just been asked to say hi. As she said, I'm the Director for Antiquities, Sites and Monuments at the National Museum of Kenya. So in fact, I would say that we are the host of this wonderful event. And we're very happy to be the host of this great event. And for me, it's a learning day. And it's a day that I'm going to engage with so many top brains and wonderful people. And I look forward to having a wonderful day today. And later in the day, we'll be talking about heritage, which is very key to us as a nation. This country has so much in terms of our heritage, and we'll be talking about that later. But I'm just saying hi, and again, also karibuni, asante sana.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mandi, for being so brief. We had a session that was going on yesterday for Red Cross, and I would want to call Derek. I would like to call Derek. Naomba tumpigie makofi to come and talk about it briefly, like a minute. I need you to talk about what happened with Red Cross, what you've been doing, and what we are just about to do.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Derek from Kenya Red Cross Society. I manage an innovation facility that we have in Lamu called IOME 005. It's a prototyping and a fabrication space. It's also an incubation space for the youth. It's really a maker space. I think that's the word that most of us understand. So during that starting last week on Friday and Saturday, we did a hackathon. It just took 2 days. Very interesting hackathon. We were focusing on disability inclusion. And we had this hackathon with amazing, vibrant youth from Mombasa attending. We had about 6 teams made up of about 4 to 6 people. And yesterday we did pitching for these hackathons, for these teams. Several of them participated. They all came in to pitch their ideas before a very amazing group of judges. Some of you that attended were able to observe and listen into what was going on in that event. So very quickly, we just wanted to perhaps award them, to award the teams. The program was very short. It only got to a point where they came up with the idea and tested and proved the idea, but they haven't tested it very well. So they presented the ideas to the judges. The judges thought these are very interesting ideas. The next step for them was prototype those ideas. So for now, we just want to award these teams and to recognize them for the effort that they have been doing. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the third edition of Pwani Innovation Week. This is day 3. Now, it's all happening at Swahili Port Hub right here in Mombasa County, a community space that is interested in nurturing youths who are interested in matters, technology, innovation, and even arts. Now, allow me to give you a brief history of Pwani Innovation Week. It kickstarted in 2018, and this is supposed to be its 5th edition, but it is its third because COVID-19 in 2020 and in 2021, there was no event that took place. Therefore, this is its third edition. And because also of the restrictions that were imposed by the Ministry of Health, to curb the spread of coronavirus, that's where we are as at now. That's why this week is third week. Today being the third day, let me just give you also a brief recap of what happened. So far so good. Day 1 was with lots of preparations, several panel discussions, and definitely among the most important visitors who were present, we could not forget the presence of Chief Ilhan Abbas. We also had Michael Onyango, who is the chairman of Pwani Innovation Week, and also an agenda setter as the forgotten bottom millions. We also had CAS Nadia Ahmed from the Ministry of ICT. CAS Nadia Ahmed is present till today. She started all the way from day 1, day 2 yesterday, and today we have also recognized her presence. We also had and still have our executive director, Muhammad Noor, there at Swahili Port Hub. We also had so many panel discussions and very insightful. And among the topics that were discussed, the first one was circular economy that happened at Close the Gap. Then we had sustainable digital economy and entrepreneurship that also took place at Swahili Port. And we also had our role as the youth when it comes to sustainable development. Very insightful discussions took place with so many questions also that took place. Day 2, that was yesterday, it was the official launch of Pwani Innovation Week that was held and led by CS Cabinet Secretary Joseph Musheru of Ministry of ICT, Youth and Innovation. He really gave insightful information as well. But what captured my mind is that he said he wished someone would come up with an innovation that, would help to curb the rigging of elections. We also had Ambassador Peter Madens, who was also in the building. We also had Professor Bitange Ndemo, an ICT guru. He is also the pioneer of internet in the country, and also when it comes to anything matters tech. Among the topics of discussions we had yesterday, this was really interesting. The 5G internet, a lot of its myths were demystified, and also we were told that it's a little bit pocket friendly. I hope that is good news for you. We also had the 5G internet and the digital economy opportunities and its challenges that were discussed. We also had the 4th industrial revolutions, a panel discussion that we also had. And lastly, that closed, the session of day 2 was climate action for sustainable growth. This had many audience ask so many questions because matters money, when money is involved, youths would want to hear where can we get this money from. So here they were told everything that they needed to know. And if you also want to know that, our videos are still up and running at Gilitix Media on Facebook and as well as YouTube. We have all these videos and everything that was discussed up there. Today is day 3. It has already kickstarted. Our keynote speakers are talking. I can see CS Amina Ahmed speaking. And then, so today what we are expecting is a conversation that revolves around women in technology. This is the biggest panel discussion that people are really waiting for. Next, also, another one that we have is a creative panel. I have spotted Sarah Hassan, a multi-award winner when it comes, actress when it comes to, the world of acting and all that. I mean, you all know Zora, right? We also have CEO of Kenya Film Commission, that is Mr. Timothy Owase, who will also be in that panel discussion. I bet there'll be so many questions from this topic as well. Then the topic that will be closing day 3 today will be the blockchain in the cost. Yeah, and also today at 9 p.m. we will also have our gala dinner that will take place at the amphitheater. We'll be expecting lots of music, lots of food, lots of culture being represented among different people. So don't forget to tune in to our social media pages at Pwani Innovation Week, at Swahili Pot, at Gilitix Media, both on Facebook, YouTube, and also Twitter. Involved with us. Twitter, we are using the hashtag PIW2022 and also another hashtag Pwani Innovation Week. That is one word. I'll repeat that. We are using 2 hashtags on Twitter. That is PIW in caps 2022 and then the hashtag Pwani Innovation Week as one word. As at now, I will take you back to the arena. Our keynote speaker is speaking. So till next time, I'll see you.
We need to start breaking through this industry so that we can have more of a representation. June talked about mentorship. It's true. I mean, you guys are lucky today. The panel has extremely amazing, amazing women, and I hope you'll be able to take your time to listen, because mentorship is the other reason as to why you would break through and things will be easy for you. For me, I have many types of mentors, from the cabinet secretary to Miss Jane, to Miss Kathleen, to Maureen, to my dada Laura. There's so many women. And each of us, as girls, as women, please don't think that you know enough. Because you don't know enough. You have to get educate yourself. And you have to always know what is the next big thing, what is the next unique thing. And if something challenges you, get a tutor, get a mentor, and do something different. And then when we talk about innovation, each and every one of us innovates in their daily life. Because part of innovation is to really simplify certain issues or certain social systems that have been there to make them easier and adaptable to other people. Yani kuvumbua, saa nyingine tukivumbua vitu tunajaribu kusaidia jamii ama nchi yetu ifanye vitu kwa uwepesi na kwa uharaka, sio? Wangapi hao ni hapa ni wavumbuzi? How many are innovators? Tell me about your innovation. The girl in the blue abaya, yeah, with a beautiful smile. Where's the mic? Mpatieni mic. And be confident when you speak. So tell me.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Okay, I'm quite new on the tech, and this is a very important learning point for me. But in my field, which is pharmacy, recently I realized there's a big gap between educating people about drugs and everything. So I innovated a way, let me use innovation. I innovated a way in which I educate Swahili women on how to take care of their skin and be proud of their skin, and black is beauty, and to appreciate it and embrace it, and you don't have to bleed and kujikoroga na mikorogo and everything.
Who else? I want to get like 3. Nani mwingine ataongea? Yes. Yes. Introduce yourself, your name. You never know, you might have an investor here.
My name is Hafsa Abdulaziz from Mount Kenya University. Recently, yesterday actually, we were with the Red Cross Foundation and we came up with an idea to help the people living with disability. We were thinking of inventing an app where it's like an e-commerce app, but it's for the blind. So there's like a translation media for them. It speaks to the blind person, and he can interact with the system, and he can also speak to the system, and the input can be rendered into it.
Can we have the last one, or there are 2? Okay, 2 more. Accelerator pitch, eh? Be simple and sweet.
My name is Farihia Jama. I've come all the way from Nairobi for this event. I am an innovator, so what I'm innovating is an education technology platform that caters for the non-literates and the marginalized community. Coming from a marginalized community, I needed a platform that teaches about business in Kiswahili and local languages. So that's what we are doing. We've managed to go to 7 countries in Africa, and now we are training in Malawi, Nigeria, and Ghana.
Nice.
Morning.
Morning.
My name is Shumai Karani. I've come up with an app called Consulting App, which deals with mental health issues that are caused by lack of communication, lack of guidance, lack of someone to be there to hear your pain and answer your running questions. By providing motherly figure individuals in that app, not because we don't have our loved ones, but we have that fear of being misjudged, fear of burdening our loved ones with our problems. So these motherly figure individuals will be there to guide you and answer your questions and all. Thank you.
Thank you. So those are just a few. So what you need to do now, harness partnerships, work on yourselves, and when you're inventing something or when you're in this industry, also invest in your emotional intelligence, because it's very important when you're going to meet investors, when you're going to meet people in the industry, you also need to know when not to react, when to pitch, and when to come up with substantive information. So I don't have much to say, but I just want to first thank all the partners, Huawei especially, and everyone else who's here, for really holding hands of women and young women, mentoring them, teaching them, guiding them, supporting them, funding them, because it's important for us to now really bring that down to the level of young women and to make them understand that they can do it, they can make things, and they can be powerful in how they are. And if you have an innovation, please work on it, invest in it yourself, read and educate yourself on how to make it better, and always never doubt yourself. Because this industry needs more women. And it's women like myself and you all that are going to break barriers and that are going to create a phenomenal transformation in Kenya. So thank you very much.
we ready? Congratulations. Let's cheer to them. Let's cheer to them. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think that's covered. We appreciate all of you for your time and for being part of this. Basically, what we are saying is we need to have more conversations around innovations in disability. And this is something that should be considered even in schools. When you're picking projects, your final projects in school, please remember this area. Don't only focus on fintech. Okay, fintech is fun. But don't only focus on fintech and agriculture. Think about innovations that we need in innovation. And there's a lot of support that we'll get here in Swahili Port and other partners that we have seated at the front here that will give us those opportunities to thrive. Thank you so much for listening to us.
Thank you very much for that. That was a very lovely session. Thank you also, Madam Kass, for being kind enough to award the participants. At this point, without wasting so much time, I will go to the next session. And this session, I'll actually call upon Joan Nabusoba of Pwani Techno Girls to welcome and do an introduction of the Women in Tech session. And after that, of course, we'll have panel 1, which is about breaking barriers in the tech industry. So over to you. You can actually just go up and use the microphone up there. I'd like to ask the technical team, please, to fix all the microphones so that we can be able to use them during the sessions, because some of them are not picking. Kindly handle that. Joanne, over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Hamjambo nyote. It's an honor to meet you all. I know some of you are going to join us on Zoom. Thank you so much for joining us and taking time to join this session today. I want to recognize the presence of very remarkable ladies and gentlemen here. I'm from Pwani Techno Girls, Director of Professional Development and also the co-founder. And I want to celebrate all the women here because, as you can see, the panelists are people who have supported Pwani Techno Girls' work a lot. So without wasting time, I want to ask to welcome our Executive Director of Pwani Techno Girls, Ruth Kaveke. She's going to join via Zoom. Kindly let me know if everything is ready. Everything is ready? Yeah, karibu sana. Thank you.
Hello, can you all hear me? Yes, we can hear you. All right, let me turn on my camera. So good morning. I'm very happy to join you today. I would really love to join all of you physically, but because of differences in time, but I'm delighted to create some time to join you. And I would like to take this time to thank Swahili for creating this platform whereby we are having remarkable panelists, we're having remarkable speakers who are coming in to share their wealth of experience, expertise, and these women are really passionate about empowering other young women and also other young girls to venture into technology. I've had a privilege of working with them personally, and I can tell you these are very remarkable women who always keep to their words. If they feel like there's something that you can gain from them, or there's a way they can connect you to move to the next level, to the next opportunities, they'll be able to do it for you. So I would really like to encourage all of you to engage with the panelists, with the speakers, and also for some of you who are new or you've never heard about Pwani Techno Girls, I would like to take this time to give you a brief overview about what Pwani Techno Girls is. So Pwani Techno Girls, we are a women-led organization. It's co-founded by passionate women in technology. We are both web and mobile developers. So we are very passionate to train young women at the coastal region. And we are delighted, since even the topic about today is about leveraging opportunities during COVID-19. So even when the pandemic came, so many things was able to change, and it really changed how we are doing things. And this also gave us an opportunity to be able to expand across the country. So we've been running Kodak training for young girls in Kenya, and I'm very happy to see some of you joining online. And it's also been a very good opportunity for the young women across the country to be able to learn and acquire these digital skills. And As an organization, we are very delighted to be able to co-host this session in partnership with other partners like Huawei, Safaricom Women in Technology, Google, and also other partners. So I would like to end there by saying thank you everyone, and I'm really very happy to join you today. I hope you are going to have a very fruitful conversation, and feel free to ask as many questions as possible. I would like to take this time to welcome Mr. Mahmoud, the founder and CEO of Swahili Pot Hub Foundation. If he's available, I'll hand over to you. Then the session will, Joan will proceed with the session. Thank you so much.
Hello, thank you. Thank you, Ruth. I don't know what time it is in the US. I'm sure we've woken you up very late. But I want to be very brief. In fact, somebody has just told me there, I don't know why, whether the person is a brand ambassador for Red Bull. She told me, can you get Red Bull? You look tired. Yeah, it is true, because we've not been sleeping a couple of days, so I will not speak much more. I just want to thank all of you. People in Mombasa know that I have more confidence in women. Wanaume poleni. And even for this country, I believe the day when we will be led by women, a lot of things will change. And one way is for you to step up. And stepping up starts from building a generation from a lower level. At the moment we have a crisis. Jen, nafikiri wewe tumeongea na wewe mara kadhaa. Hapa Mombasa wanawake wengi wamekuwa like liberated because they're actually doing a lot more. But we've forgotten the boy child. So now it's very difficult for them to synchronize because others have gone far and then the boy child ako nyuma. Hiyo ni discussion ya siku nyingine. For now I just want to thank Maureen. Maureen, if you can stand up. Maureen and Ruth, they are the ones who are putting everybody together. And you know, you are actually leading a team of your mentors. Because I know that amongst your team, you have mentors that you are under, but you're actually coordinating them. And the mentors, I know there is Laura from Stepwise. We also serve with her in the Communications Authority Board. We have Jane. We have one of the most powerful women here. Probably later on she will be introduced. Nyote mnajua mnatumia internet, si ndio? World Wide Web. Sasa wenye hiyo kuna mmoja very senior yuko hapa. So at some point atakuja kuongea na nyinyi. And for you young girls who are here, I think the reason we are putting all these people together is for them to come and encourage you. And I also want to thank them, because since the last couple of days, we've been having people who are coming to support us. And I always tell them, and I think this is the 4th year, that they actually support themselves to come here and support you. Because we also have a big team of volunteers here. So I wish you well. I will listen to the women in technology, and I hope at very soon mchukue uongozi wa kila kitu. Hiyo ndio nafikiri Kenya itabadilika iwe nzuri zaidi. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mahmoud. And I can attest that he's really a supporter of women in technology. And for Pwani Technogas to reach where we are, I can say that it's because of his support. And now I want to welcome panel one members. And I just want to welcome you in front here so that you can sit at these spaces here so that we can have a discussion. We have 30 minutes only. And that 30 minutes will consist for panel one. That 30 minutes will be for panel one, and panel two will also take 30 minutes as well. So I want to welcome the moderator of panel one, Dr. Jane. Dr. Jane Karibu. Dr. Jane Muga is a public policy specialist and a fellow at Carnegie Endowment for International Peace in the Africa program focusing on technology policy. Karibu sana. Okay, let us welcome another remarkable lady in Sub-Saharan Africa, where she works towards engaging developers within the region who are keen on Google technologies. Karibu sana. So this is panel 1. I want to welcome the moderator for panel 1, Dr. Jane Munga. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Can I request the technical team to assist us with microphones? We really want this to be an interactive session. I really like how Madam Cass has set the tone, so let's continue in that. So if we can be assisted with microphones. As we start the program, it's such an honor to be here, to be sitting in this great venue, overlooking Mombasa. Mombasa ni kuzuri nakwambia. I love it. I'm not from here. I'm from Nairobi and originally from Nyeri, where baridi ni mingi. Lakini hapa, nice. I love it. Anyway, so I'll be the moderator. My name is Jane Munga. I'm coming from a background. She's talked about where I'm transitioning to Carnegie Endowment. Lakini mimi nimekuwa na serikali sana. Nimefanya katika wizara ya ICT. I'll try and ongea Kiswahili, but mine is not so good. Kama ya Nadia. But I've come from government, so I've been working a lot in policy. And we have been trying to set the stage. Na waziri ule alikuwa hapa, Waziri Matiangi, with a body called the National Communication Secretariat. And for me as a woman, I'm always very keen also to support the women who have worked with me through this journey. And there are 2 women who I've seen in this room who I've worked with very well. And I want to recognize them because they don't know that I know I'm here. There's one called Beatrice. Just stand where you are, Beatrice, and wave to the crowd. And Tabi. Beatrice has done all our management in the office. Na Tabi ni mtu wa mahesabu. She keeps us on track. So for women, the first lesson, even as I moderate this session, remember who you're working with. Tutembee pamoja. This is a journey, we all need each other. But it's not about me today. Today I also want to hear more about you. One of the things I really want to understand first, even I go to the panelists, is how many people here are under 30? Under 30, don't be shy. I wish I was there. I wish I can raise my hand. Under 30? No. Laura, we see you. Mungu anakuona. Under 30. So this is a majority. And the rest of us? I am proud of where I am. I am. Because today, panelists, I hope you have noticed this. We are talking to the next generation. The majority is here. So with my first question, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself briefly. You have been defined as a woman who's been breaking barriers, especially even as we went through the COVID period. So introduce yourself. Tell us how this journey of breaking barriers has been. And as you speak to it, speak to the next generation. And how you want to speak to the next generation is tell me how, if you went back 10 years ago, what message would you give yourself? Because Cass Nadia said that there are lessons we have to learn. So also tell us some of the things that you'd want yourself to know about 10 years. Okay, maybe for me it's 10, maybe some of it's 20. Laura. So you all have 3 minutes, please. Let's try, because we only have 30 minutes, so try and keep it. I'll start with our first guest from Google.
Hello, hi everyone. My name is Alela, part of the developer relations team at Google, and what we do is empowering developers across sub-Saharan Africa who are keen on Google technologies, and also just trying to give them, upskilling them, because this is one of the things that's very relevant at the moment, just trying to ensure that if you're interested in tech, are we giving you? So this is by training you, providing mentorship, and also just communities that you can leverage on. I've been asked for 10 years. 10 years ago, I was 16, so I don't know which answer to give you. But I'd probably not give myself advice for 10 years. But if I was to go, let's say 5 years back, communities and support from other developers, identifying what exactly I was interested in, and also not just giving up. I guess one of the things. I'd like to give Michael a shout out. Is one of the hackathons I attended, and I had this crazy idea, and he kept on telling me, "What's the progress or how far you gone?" So just realizing exactly, even as a woman in tech, let nobody tell you you're there to create communities like Android 254, Technovation, and things like that really helped come a long way. And also the need for a mentor and looking at men as allies and a support system and not as rivals when it comes to this journey of women in tech. Reason being, we are to grow as an ecosystem and we cannot grow as individuals alone. Yeah.
Governance within Safaricom, but other than that, I chair Safaricom Women in Technology. And a shout out, as you had said, Jane, you work with your tribe. Part of my tribe is here. Please holla, say hello. Yeah. So one of the things I would say that as women in tech in Safaricom we do is basically when we joined Safaricom, we realized the ladies within the technology space were quite few. And we are proud to say that we have worked on it and we have grown from 8% within the technology division to 24%. And other than that, we have been able to reap the benefits because currently, as we are evolving and digital transformation has come through, as we try to leverage on innovation, we realize that a woman is very critical in terms of innovating in our spaces. I think women are the ones who we quickly come into a problem and we quickly think of how to do something to mitigate it. So we are really pushing that agenda, and now I think we work very closely with the organization, the bigger Safaricom, and we even have an innovation caravan in conjunction with Women in Tech going around the different universities just to be able to support the universities which are the next future workforce for us and to make it fit enough to be able to join us soon. So 10 years ago for myself, I think I would be happy to have seen someone mentor me. So what we are doing as Safaricom Women in Tech. 10 years ago, I think I was just finishing my undergrad in Kenyatta University. And through my season there was no one to handhold. There was no one. There was no Pwani Techno girls coming to speak to us. There was no Lara and the team. There was no Huawei caravans coming to us. And I think for me, the fact that right now we end up losing so much because women struggle in that space. You find you're few in that class, or you find you have so many things going around you socially that you end up dropping off. If only we had that opportunity to have someone come speak to us, to sustain us through that journey, to guide us, to teach us how we are going to be able to penetrate into the workforce and sustain us there, then I think I would be in a better place. And that is why I'm passionate about driving Safaricom Women in Tech. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. I see your tribe is truly supporting you today. Summarize yours by saying mentorship. I think that is the key word there, mentorship. Laura, we've come a long way. I've known you for a while. 3 minutes, please.
You young ladies have given us pressure. Nice to meet you, Donna, at last, finally. So my name is Laura Chite. I'm a champion in women in tech. I am not a technology person by training, believe it or not. I'm an economist, but I've always been passionate about technology. Currently, as mentioned in my bio, I work for an organization known as Stepwise, where we work with the underprivileged in our communities with regards to training, placing them in jobs, or absorbing them as an organization, or helping them take off with their business ideas with regards to innovation. I am the founder of a Women in IT leadership program called Hanovation, which focuses on women in technology. And for me, the reason why I started this organization is because 5.5 years ago, when I got my role as the CEO of CIO East Africa, I realized there were very few women in technology who were in senior positions, and that really bothered me. And it's not that they were not in senior positions. What was even worse is that they were shy. They were not comfortable to step up and talk about some of the amazing things they're doing within their organizations. Have you ever sat in a meeting where you're trying to express yourselves, and then nothing personal to the gentleman, but a gentleman picks up your statement and says what she means to say? There's nothing as irritating as that, because it means you are unable to express yourself. So why have they taken off with your narrative? And it is your personal narrative. So 3 things that women in IT leadership focuses on: innovation. 1, mentorship. So Donna, we still need to talk. 2, networking. When do women in technology get the opportunity to network with each other and support each other? And when I talk about networking, I'm talking about whether you're a senior lady or a junior lady. When we get to the networking opportunities, the flow is the same. It doesn't matter who you are. You learn from your junior, the junior learns from the senior. We create an equal playing ground. And finally, soft skills. Our biggest issue as women. Culturally, we do not know it, but the way we are brought up, we are not supposed to speak loudly where men are. We are not supposed to express ourselves. We are not supposed to be seen. And we don't realize it, but it is in our minds. Okay? So we don't speak. So we may be as qualified as the guys from a technical perspective. Your company or your employer will invest in your technical skills, but they will never invest in your soft skills. So that's the thing that we focus on, so that women have a voice and they can talk. You can do your presentation, you can negotiate for a better salary, you can negotiate for a deal, you can do an elevator pitch if it's a business. So that's what women in IT focuses on, and IT leadership. It's called Innovation. Please go and look for it on LinkedIn and join. What would I have done 10 years back? Those who wanted to clap, go ahead. Please clap. Please. What would I have done 10 years back? And I'm not going to reveal my age. 10 years back, I was in kindergarten. But this is what I would have done. I would have taken chances. I would have taken risks. I would have gone solo. If you're employed, go and look for a job, a business, start a business. If you're in business, go and look for a job. I would have spoken louder. I would have embraced who I am. I would have networked better because it is my net worth. I would have taken up mentorship, different types of mentorship, social, business, career, whatever it is, religion, whatever it is, fashion. I would have asked questions. In the organization I work at, we have something called Raise Your Hand. I should have been more curious and asked more questions. I would have surrounded myself with people who give me candid feedback. I know it is difficult to get negative feedback, but guess what? It helps you grow. It removes you out of your comfort zone. I would have surrounded myself with cheerleaders. I would have celebrated every little achievement, and I would have made noise about it. Every step counts. So ladies and gentlemen, please, let's create a community of celebrating each other and giving each other feedback. My squad is online. So my squad online, cheer. And there are some here. You can hear them. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura, for that wonderful opening remark. I mean, I think for you, speech, I think you have a gift there. Dr. Adair, we're coming to you. So help us understand who you are, how you've made your journey to where you are, and what you tell your younger self.
Thank you very much, Jane. And maybe I could start off with a right to reply, because I want to tell her that I was the very first speaker in the Safaricom Women in Tech series. First. And the reason I'm saying that is I think even before I introduce myself, to some extent, sometimes we've been our own worst enemies. And because women, for the time when I started working, Jane, women were not celebrating each other. And secondly, the media also did not help. The number of times I knocked on doors and said, we are some of the first women in tech in this country, talk about us so we can trickle it down, it was not news. They told me, and I hope media are here, when it bleeds, it leads. So what I was saying was not bleeding enough. So you said here, how many of you are under 30? And how many are under 25? Wow. So interestingly enough, I don't want to go into my journey in detail, but I got my PhD at 29. About 7 of us, we used to call ourselves women in tech. And I did it purposefully. I started off in school here. And in university, I think we were 2 women in my class, in Moore University, and a few men. But I decided I was going to be the best. So you don't apologize for it, and look at where you want to go. So getting my PhD at 29 was work that I purposefully did. And that's why sometimes you guys are lucky. You are in a generation where there is so much social media, there's so many ways to engage. So you're able to see this. I see the media writing, first woman to get, I don't know, a PhD at 29 the other day in mathematics. I got mine at 29 in 1997. So when I look back, my name is Catherine Adair. Let me introduce myself. I'm the Global Director of Research at the World Wide Web Foundation. So if you know the World Wide Web Foundation, how many know when the web was founded? And who founded the web? You call yourselves tech. Who founded the web and when was the web created? No. The World Wide Web. Sir Tim Berners-Lee, who still sits on my board in 1989. And my office is in Washington, but this is now what I want to tell you about COVID. I was employed from Nairobi. I work from Nairobi, and I work with a global research team. I can go to Washington anytime I need to. But why am I telling you this? The opportunities are there. I sat back and said, why am I confining myself to Kenya? And I had already done so many things. I've been in academia. I've been in government. I was one of the only 14 women CEOs in government. I am the founding director of Konza, who are sitting here today. And Ian can hear me. They can sit there happily, but the sweat came from a woman, me. Yay. And I'll never apologize for that. So I was one of the only CEOs. And when I look back and I tell myself, what would I tell myself, Jane? There is so much that I could say. But one of the things is don't apologize for being a woman. And don't apologize for being a girl. Take more risks. I look at myself at your age, I should have taken more risks. I always wanted to know, is the guy feeling it's okay? The guy is taking one step, I want to take 3. Why? I stumble and fall, I give up. No, stand up, shake yourself, move on. So one other thing I would do, I think you've all talked about it, and that is surrounding yourself with the right people. You must have people who celebrate you, whether they're women or men. If your friend is telling you you cannot go and be a software engineer, please prove them wrong. Look at yourself 10 years from now. What do you want to be? I'm the global director of research. I'm the senior most African woman sitting on a panel full of white men. I'm sorry if they're hearing me virtually. But you can do it. And then the one other thing I would like you to think about is set goals that are ambitious. I mean, some of you really limit yourselves. In my application letters, I always end up with the only real limits we set on ourselves are those we set on ourselves. Those are the only limits. If you believe that you can get that job, I saw the job advert and it wrote US citizen, or do you have a work permit for the UK? Do you have a work permit for the US? I said, like, this job looks like me. I'm applying anyway. What is the most they'll tell you? Yes or no? They told me yes. Can we have a conversation? Here I'm sitting today. So don't give up. Just believe in yourself. And finally, be real. And the reason why I'm telling many of you to be real, many of you even work in our offices and you try to impress us. So the other day I was in Microsoft. Microsoft launched, what was it? Microsoft Africa. There's a young lady who was trying to explain to her, I'm sorry if you're listening to me virtually. She was trying to explain her product. She struggled. Then I asked her, what are you more comfortable explaining in? She said Kiswahili. I said, explain it in what you want. Why are you trying to impress these Wazungus? We will translate it. Be proud of who you are. And be real. So the last one of being real is also a real story. When you're applying for something, just say who you are. Don't limit yourself, but come out there and give your best. So I was telling them this morning about a guy who wrote on his CV that he plays the piano in his what? In his spare time. He got the job. And the first thing the CEO asked, during their lunchtime, will you play the piano? The guy was praying somebody can break his fingers. Be real.
Thank you. Another hand for Dr. Adair. Ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing these inspirational voices. I want to come to the audience because we want to interact with you. I want to get an opportunity to ask any of these ladies these questions. But before we do that, there's something that, if the tech team can help me with that, there's something that I have really liked all the ladies have challenged us. First, I can summarize it in one question. Do you know yourself? Unajijua? Then answer it for yourself. Know yourself. And don't let anybody limit you. I like what Dr. Ade has said, that even as she applied for position, she didn't see the limitations. Unfortunately, women, it's statistically shown that most women will not apply for the job unless they qualify for everything on that list. You know what? Men, I think the statistics for men is like 20, huh? 2 out of 10. But women will go to the list and do 10 out of 10. I am speaking this as someone who has done that personally. I will go look at the job and say, this one I don't qualify. And then another sister will come, and it's important of having this crowd to support you, tell you, Jane, this is your job. What are you talking about? So know yourself and believe in yourself. Everything that you can do it. And we are here to tell you that it is possible. So I'm coming to the crowd now. Nataka maswali. Or I'll continue asking them questions. Or even online. I was told online there are people who have questions. But nataka kuona nani yako hapo kona swali. Wacha nisimame basi. There's a gentleman. Ladies, it's okay. They support us. Let the gentleman go. Please, there's a lady here. If you can just come here so we can have a microphone to serve you. Because we would like to hear what you're saying. Now, sema jina yako alafu tuambie swali yako tafadhali. Please come, we still have, I'll take about 3, then we can give it back to the panelists. So, endelea.
Okay, thank you so much once again. My name is Muhammad Otieno, and I think one of the most important elements that has been mentioned is about mentorship. And for me, it's more of a question. Since you ladies have now grown and you can visualize so many things. And I think this is the best advice or maybe the best answer you can give to the youths. We've been talking about mentorship, but we youths don't know how to pick our mentors. Let the truth be told. We really don't know how to pick our mentors. So I believe you guys also have mentors, but what is the best advice you can give to the youths, especially on how to pick mentors? Because mentorship is so wide. But I think we as youths have been taking it as a light word.
So mentorship. Yeah. Do you have in particular anyone who would want to answer that question?
Anyone that is comfortable with the question.
Thank you, Mohammed. Twashukuru. Dada, tafadhali.
Do you want more questions, Jane, or we can start?
Yeah. Let us get her question also.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I'm so happy to be with you guys. My question is for the Women in Tech Safaricom. I attended a Women in Tech event in Nairobi, Michael Joseph House, when Janet was the speaker, the one for Property Show. So when I came to Mombasa because I was in Nairobi because of my studies. I came to realize that we don't have that in Mombasa, and I think it will be good if we have such events for the women in tech, so that it can empower the ladies in Mombasa also. And I also got mentored over there with the speaker then. So it will be also a good opportunity for the women here in Mombasa to get mentors and to have that circle that you're telling us to have for people who are relating to us and who can motivate us also to be our greatest cheerleaders. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? The people online? You maybe help read for us.
Okay, so there is Juma Lawrence. What community mentorship or what part of group do you pick for mentorship? What community mentorship or what part of group do you pick for mentorship? Yeah. And then there is one from Immaculate. Thank you as an educator stroke teacher. How and what do I study to be a software engineer and even start mentoring my learners in it? Remember, I did not take IT as a course. It's just a passion. And then the last one is from Juma Lawrence again. How frequently is the mentorship program being done?
Thank you so much. These are a bunch of questions, but I'm seeing the mentorship issue is rising to the top of the list. So I'll start with Dr. Adair. I think the latest question, especially on software engineering and mentorship, if you can, we can then come this way.
Yeah.
And I'll just request for you just to answer it and also give in your broad experience around it. Because I think this is quite important. I like Mohammed saying that even us as youth, we need to be mentors. Also, a public announcement, I'm being informed there's a creative session, the creatives, if you can start making your way to the amphitheater. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jane. Actually, I was itching to answer the question of mentorship. And I'll be very, very honest, very, very honest, Jane. You know, you can only mentor somebody who wants to be mentored as well. Some of the challenges I've faced, and I'm a mentor to many, and she knows, I mentor people, and most of the requests I get from the US, other parts of Africa, or even here through universities or through parents. Can you mentor my daughter? I ask, how old is she? 23. Give her my email address. Then I'm the one who starts following you. I'm supposed to be mentoring you. I'm supposed to be mentoring you. Mentorship also comes from wanting to be mentored. But also the other thing is availability, knowing who the potential mentors are. We are there. And this one I want to challenge Safaricom. I'm sorry I have to actually look at you directly. Because we started the Safaricom Women in Tech. And one of the hopes that we had is as the women come there, you put them there and say these are potential mentors to be able to assist. Then the young lady who's asking there, who came 10 years later when I had left, would be able to know what she wants to do and how we can assist her. The mentors are there, but you also have to want to be mentored. It's very hard to mentor somebody as a favor to somebody else. And then on the issue of software engineer, she's a teacher. Can I tell you one of the best ways to do is even the sorry to use this, but it's software engineer for dummies in a sense. You go to, the universities have a lot of, like Strathmore has a lot of free things during the holidays, where they just call you to come and get some experience and they understand what you want, and they can then even partner you with some of the guys who are very strong. So you don't have to be in that particular area, but you must be, my young people in my organization say you must be woke. You must be able to know exactly where the opportunities are. So look out, especially during holidays, you see these coding camps, you see this, just go there. You don't have to be a specialist. By the way, I even go for financial training for I don't know what, and I have zero background. I'm just curious. Just start off by being curious. You'll be fine.
Thank you, Nyake. Laura?
Okay, so I'll also start with the mentorship, and I'll just pick up a little bit from what Dr. Adair said here. You know, mentorship, there's something called reverse mentorship. If I'm going to mentor you, I should be able to learn something back from you. So what are you bringing to the table? It cannot end up being another heavy job, okay? You must prepare for your mentorship session, which is normally a big issue. As Dr. Adair said, you end up chasing your mentee. You end up asking your mentee, have you done, our next session is coming, have you done? That cannot work. I'll tell you, I will never pick you up as a mentee. If I realize it's another job for me, I will not do it because I have 50 things to do on my table. Be proactive and reach out. And then the other thing around mentorship is that you must learn how to pay it forward. Let's say I'm being mentored by Dr. Adair. I must make sure I mentor her, Donna, okay? We must pay it forward. It has to be a chain that continues. You can't just be selfish and keep that information to yourself, okay? Then for those who are dying urgently right now to get into a mentorship program, there's a global program Hanovation has partnered with called WENTAS, which is mentorship for women, okay? When you go into that global platform, you sign up. They'll actually do you'll do an online test, and they will match you with the right mentor, or they will make you a mentor, okay? And the good thing is you will be mentored by somebody globally, or you will mentor somebody globally, which is a great challenge for many of us. We need to stop operating in this fishbowl mentality. The fishbowl mentality has to stop. Expand your horizons. There's so much going on. And especially because we're in a global, we're in the technology world. So it flattens the curve. As Dr. Adair said, she applied for a job in DC. Look at her. Now, talking about software engineering. As I said, I'm not a technical person. I'm an economist by training. Yeah? And as an economist by training, I developed a passion for technology. And this is how I am in technology. I immersed myself in that space. I read about it, I did research, I talked to people, I became fearless, all right? And I went and I did some practical stuff online. I do not have a certification in tech, by the way. But ask me anything about technology today, I will speak like the #1 expert. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. We have more in common than you know. I'm also an economist. And I remember my first job in tech, what I would do, I would go to meetings, I hear words. The first time I had the word spectrum, I went that evening, I would write names, all those technologies, Gioni, Nasoma. So it's immersing yourself. If you have a passion, do it. And then immerse yourself with those who are experts in that field. Our time is almost up, but we have Donna and Alala, and I want to also come back to the audience. So Donna, if you can give us, a lot has been said about the Women in Technology program at Safaricom, but also kindly let us also know how the initiative is going and how it is supporting young women in this space. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jen. So for Women in Tech, thank you for the challenge. I think also just because of COVID, now we are a bit virtual. So I think we need to expand our reach. And yes, we will come to Mombasa soon and very soon. And we will make sure that we are able to feed into our audience that is waiting for us here. So that's a good challenge received, and we will action on it. Then on mentorship, maybe from a younger space or a younger angle, I think mentorship needs to be demystified. For me, I struggle with the fact that when you ask a young person to get mentors, they think you have to have been a person with a title to be their mentor. Well, personally, from my own experience, my first ever mentor was a lady who, when I was changing roles from one role to the other, she criticized me. She was actually my immediate boss at that time, and it was negative criticism. At that time, I took it as negative, but it was actually very positive. When I went to the next role, still within the same organization, I had time just to reflect. And that is where self-awareness is key, as all my panelists have said. When I looked back, I said, this is someone who had good interests for me. And I made her my mentor. So she doesn't have she's someone out there looking at the best interests for me. My other personal board of directors comprises of men. Thank you. Comprises of men and women. Luckily for me, my board of directors is of young people. Some of them are my peers, but I consider them having my back or having valuable insights based on their experiences. So you don't have to have a mentor who has any title or rank. Basically, a mentor is someone who is able to guide you, give you feedback, and actually interact and share things with you to help you grow. So don't look at titles. Number 2, other than mentors who we also work with, there is Global Give Back Circle. I am a mentor with them. It's quite unfortunate, the other day I had a mentee, and this is feedback that I also give. When you're a mentee, please make time.
Tech team,
So,
hello.
So as Laura said, I think as a mentee, creating time, putting effort, and also the fact that if you're self-aware, then you'll be able to derive your mentee and mentor relationship. So kindly, when you want to see your mentor, please consider. Can I just talk? Can you hear me?
Maybe use this one. You can get this up, huh?
Hello.
Tech team, we need your help.
Can we just lift this thing?
Yeah, it's heavy, it's heavy.
Put back up. I'm changing the batteries there. Can we get this put back up there? Excuse me, put that back up.
Kindly, the technical team, we need to fix the mics. It's getting worse in a minute. Please.
Sorry.
Thank you. So as I was saying, basically the who, it doesn't have to be someone with a title. Basically, even around you, you'll notice in your circle there's already someone mentoring you. You just don't know it. So be self-aware to be able to realize that that person next to you, even your friend, who keeps on telling you, do this, or maybe you need to do this, can be a mentor.
Then lastly, as I said, please, please, please also be willing to give back. Personally, I have mentors and I also mentor. I have 2 ladies and a gentleman, and I feel every time I get knowledge, I actually pay it forward and I give them some knowledge. So kindly, when you reach out, please, please give it also to someone else for them to benefit, so that we are in this journey together. And then lastly, there's a book I read and it really impacted me. What got you here will not get you there. There are few things that as women, we need to be able to start doing. One, do not underclaim your achievements. Laura said it. Please sing it out, yeah? When you're being mentored and it has made you achieve something, please, please sing it out. And also other than that,
Tech team, please. Help us manage the microphones and the background noise. I think these speakers are now picking up what is going on up there. We are winding up. I hope this is not a message.
No, it's okay. You can proceed. And
proceed?
I think also the wind is causing a bit of interruption in the frequency. Kindly bear with us, please. Thank you.
Okay, and so as I finish, overvaluing expertise. When at times you're given a role, you're not given a role because you're an expert in that role. There's something else you're bringing to the table. I had a conversation with a friend as I was traveling to Mombasa, and she's struggling with a role in Denmark because she's thinking it's a finance role and she's not having a finance background. And she's really trying to get as much knowledge as she can about it, forgetting to do the role. Well, remember, she was actually chosen for that role because of her leadership skills and not her expertise. So please, please don't overvalue expertise. Balance everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Asante. I know it's coming to an end. You can hear me? Yes. Okay. So, Alela, in 1 minute, if you can.
Relax, he means well. Or you know Michael well. Or all of you know him. Sawa, then wait.
So, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let's give a proper round of applause to all these women. Every single one of them, apart from the Safaricom, I know personally. Please take note of this. You heard how they all spoke, clear, crisp, and very precise. And then remember the firms that they work for. World Wide Web, international. Google, international. She's going to Carnegie, international. Stepwise, international. Vodafone, international. If you're not paying attention, you've really, really lost out. But the biggest thing that has made me so proud about this panel is Eunice Alela. I have worked with every single one of these people. I'll start off with Jane Munga. When I was just about to leave the county, we worked on various programs on digital initiatives at the bottom level, Standard 8 leavers, and they were very big supporters from the Ministry of Education. In fact, for your information, the Ajira program in Kenya was launched in Kisumu under my term as county minister then, because of the things that we're doing. Eunice Alela, August 1st, 2017, we formed a WhatsApp group together. She had nothing. I would have never imagined that I'll be standing here and she'd be speaking as the Google Community Manager for East Africa. So these are the things that make us come here. I've been here since Sunday. I stay here from morning till evening, listening to each and every single thing that's going on here, because you have no idea what you're learning from these people. You've got absolutely no idea. Nyaki, we go back in especially you see what I'm calling her. It's not Catherine. That tells you a lot. Nyaki. Yes. So, my sister, the things that we have done, the things that we've worked on, the amount of mentorship and the amount of opportunity she's opened up for many young people who have come through me, I thank her and I celebrate her, and she's very quiet. You'll never see her on the forefront. So these are people who actually do things, but you'll never see them, you'll never know them. So please, Nyaki, let's appreciate her. Laura, CIO. Oh my goodness, that's when we first met. And I'm telling you, did we do things? Yes, we did. In fact, Laura gave an opportunity to the person who right now is our project manager at 4 p.m. to speak where CROs were speaking. And he was only 24 then, but she gave him that opportunity. Safaricom, I'm happy to say that I'm currently in conversation with Andrew Masila. We want to start a program called 100,000 Kenya. The gentleman who was speaking about devices, we understand that. We want to start a program whereby people can go, have access to devices, have access to food, because we know that you cannot come for training if you can't eat. Also have access to food that you can take home. So this is a whole new initiative that we want to start. So we are serious about you young people, but you must do your part. There's only so much we can do. So I really want to appreciate all of you. Thank you so, so much. We continue looking up to you. Don't give up. Keep doing what you're doing. And please continue being honest and blunt with them, because that's the only way we can grow. Thank you very much. Chairman's privilege. I can always take the microphone.
Thank you very much. And makofi tena to these remarkable women. So I want to welcome panel 2 very quickly. Remarkable ladies again. We have our moderator here. Ako tayari, najua sauti nyororo, amelamba asali kweli kweli. June Chepkemei, karibu. June is actually a remarkable woman, is a manager, marketing and corporate communication at Konza Technopolis Development Authority, which is mandated by the government of Kenya. Karibu sana June. We want to welcome Maureen Mwaniki. She holds a degree in electrical and electronics engineering from University of Nairobi. Karibu Engineer Doreen. She's from Huawei Technology Kenya Company Limited. Karibu. Thank you very much for joining us. Shiro Waweru. I hope I've pronounced your name correctly, Shiro Waweru. Karibu sana. Shiro is Wanjiru Waweru Waithaka is a graduate of Interior Architecture from the Glasgow School of Art, University of Glasgow. Hey! Okay. Uluya inaingia ndani kidogo, mtanisamehea. Very much welcome, Shiro Waweru. Then we have Husnia Khalid Mohammed. Karibu sana. 8+ years of experience working with multinational organizations, government institutions and agencies, and private sector. Karibu sana Husnia, a remarkable woman. Then we have someone on Zoom, Rose Okech. Rose Okech is from Pwani Techno Girls, and she is a software developer, UI UX designer and mentor, and right now she's a diploma graduate at Aviation College and a graduate from Moringa School. So I want to hand over to our able moderator and a remarkable woman, June Chepkemei, and you can take over, guys. Thank you.
Asante sana. Hello. Hi. Vijana hi. Mko poa? Ukweli? Hata mimi. Great. We want to make this short and sweet. Thank you so very much for finding time to join us this afternoon. I'll just go straight to the session where our focus today is looking at the place of ICT and how we, each and everyone in this panel, is leveraging technology to move their engagements to the next level, whether it's in business, career, or whatever initiative the initiative they are working on. And we've seen the power of technology. I think all of us are now accessing internet more on our phones than on our devices. And COVID-19 did teach us that indeed we can interact virtually. But the question is, how are you interacting virtually? How is technology helping you move your idea to the next level? And we are in an era where we are not defining ICT as a synonym for innovation. The answer is you can innovate in every space you're in. Amazing feedback from teams here on people who are actually leveraging technology in beauty. People are leveraging technology in agriculture. We have an aviation expert within ourselves, and therefore we do not want to discourage young people coming into the sector because they do not have a technology background. What we are saying is leverage technology to move to the next level. And without further ado, I will start off with Madam Shiro Waweru, a woman we respect, we look up to her, who knew that architecture can be that sexy. It is, isn't it? We are used to architects showing up in ragged jeans and rubbers, and they are showing us buildings and telling us vertical, horizontal, but we are here interacting with architecture in our day-to-day living. Please introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'll try and be louder than those guys, right? Pwani hoye. Excellent. So my name is Shiro. I really hate introducing myself because it sounds like somebody else. However, I'm happy to be here. I absolutely love the coast, even though I'm melting, but it will help me lose some weight. So I'm an interior architect, different from exterior, but that's not the point. Dear Pwani Innovation Week, why are the chairs not made by these amazing youth here today? How many of you know carpentry or metalwork? Excellent. One lady, two. We are 3 of us. 4. Do you know what I do every day? I'm a carpenter. Yes, I did design. Me, I don't know mathematics. But for sure, to make a chair balance, there's mathematics. True? I mean, I don't have PhD, those things. But I have blisters on my hands from working with my hands. Because if we did not make the chairs you're sitting on, mungeka wapi? On the ground. So you think we're very important people? If we didn't do chuma work, these legs of these chairs, simungeko meanguka. How important are we? Why am I saying this? So I actually do carpentry. So I studied interior architecture and then I went and studied carpentry. Because to design something, you need to learn how to make it. When we talk about technology, please put up your hand if you're holding a phone. Please put up your hand if you're wearing clothes, shoes, if you have a handbag, if you're wearing a watch, if you have glasses. Put up your hands, I can't see. What are those? Products. When we flew in yesterday, I love flying into the coast. I saw shipping containers. We have a lot of shipping vessels, right? There's even a queue. Where are those things coming from? Where are they coming from? Outside countries, right? What are they going back with? Air. How much of it?
0.
Correct. But the things coming, they've been made by?
People.
Like?
Us.
Us. These chairs, did they come in those containers?
Yes.
Did they come in those containers?
Yes.
Dear Pwani, do you have amazing furniture? Do you have amazing furniture down here?
Amazing.
Why isn't it going in those containers? Why isn't it what we're sitting on? How do we do that so that each chair looks the same? Have you ever seen a carpenter use a computer? Have you? Technology? Do you know that all my machines in my factory have computers? Yes. So technology is not only an app. Technology is an enabler for you to make the chair that looks the same with the next chair over and over. All you need is technology. These days there are machines that you put a flash disk, which I have in my factory, and it's a very basic machine. They're called robots. Have you heard people talk robots? Oh, I don't know, 4th Industrial Revolution. It's what we do with carpentry, as basic as that. So who knows a PDF? Who has ever seen a PDF document? Basic. I mean, I'm not talking code. I don't understand those things. You know how to create a PDF document, right? So you design your thing, you save it on a PDF, very basic. You save it on a flash disk on your laptop, and you plug it into this machine, and the machine reads your drawing and cuts for you the table, the chair, the timber, the glass, the metal. It is happening. I'm an SME. I know he talked about multinationals. It's okay, I didn't catch feelings. But we do more than the multinationals, because we combine creativity with technology and we actually create jobs. Can you imagine if all these chairs here, if somebody could count for us the chairs, the tables, the microphones, the sofas here, if somebody can count how many they are and how much they cost, if these were all made in Pwani, they would afford to buy the laptops that organization was talking about, right? All the volunteers we saw here yesterday would be getting paid for their work. Technology is not just about software. Why aren't you making the phones? Who had a phone here? Please hold up your phone if you have a phone. Why aren't you making that phone? Why are you only making the apps? And good people, please, I love that you're making apps that help people. But you will not make money like that. Make a product you can sell that we need. Who here sleeps on a bed at home? I'm just asking. Who made it, right? The apps are good as enablers to what we do in my world. So I'm just giving you an insight into the combination between design, technology, and manufacturing. It is possible, June. It is possible, dear people. Thank you.
Wow. What a way to start. Basically, we are going down to the place of technology in standardizing whatever it is that we are doing. So it is not a synonym for innovation. And I think Jen and Daktari, we are now beginning to pick gaps. We need to go back to the grassroots and really get things going. I will move to my next panelist, Husnia. Kindly introduce yourself in a manner. The template has been set.
That's a very big
No
template.
pressure, no pressure.
Okay, hi everyone. I hope I'm audible. My name is Husnia Muhammad. Nitajaribu kuongea na Kiswahili pia. Wacha nisimame, naona hii kitu inanipinga. Na mimi nataka niwafikie wenzangu. So kwa jina naitwa Husnia Muhammad, na I think Swahili pot is as old as my firstborn, because the first time I started working with Mahmoud Noor Rezi, started working with Mahmoud Noor, I was pregnant with my first child. And today, like Waziri Musheru, I am also emotional because tumetoka mbali. Nilikuwa nimekaa hapo kama nyinyi, nilikuwa nikipanda hizi ngazi nikishuka mbio. Okay, this reclaimed land was not there then, but nilikuwa nikikimbia huku na huku just like any one of you. So there's nothing special about me or anybody here other than we have walked that journey and we are still walking that journey. Okay, so for me, I decided to ask questions about why this is happening, why that is happening. For example, let's talk about digital transformation, because technology and innovation cannot be mentioned without the words digital transformation. What is digital transformation? Ndo nini hiyo? Majina makubwa makubwa, what do they mean? Digital transformation is simply kuondoka kutumia zile njia tulizokuwa tukitumia before na tuende kwenye njia mpya za teknolojia ambazo zinatumika sasa na ambazo tutataka kutumia in future. Okay? Transforming from analog to digital era. That is the meaning. The simple meaning of digital transformation. And where is Kenya in that? How did it start? The whole thing. Kenya was born in 1963 when it took over from the British colonial period. Okay? And that meant Kenya actually inherited British bureaucratic traditions. Forgive me for the Britons in the room and anyone else. I hope I'm not offending anybody. But these are the facts that what I'm stating are facts. I'm not, telling my own story or anything. I'm talking about the story of Kenya. Okay, so when Kenya was born, what happened is the traditions that were carried on were actually traditions that were not local, they were not custom, and they were not for the people, from the people. So Africanization was initiated to support digital transformation in Kenya. Even though back then it was not called digital transformation, it was Africanization, to make the transition from colonial instructors to local expertise. But what happened then? Once that process started, the government started to grow. Then, in 1990, the government was the largest employer in Kenya. As in, you cannot find Microsoft having 200,000 workers and the government is 50,000. No, it was the other way around. The government actually had the highest number of workers. What does that mean again? It means now we are going to have expenditure problems. Hatuwezi kumlipia Esther ticket aende Nairobi, hakuna pesa. Now we are going to have wage bill problems. We cannot employ the young and the fresh minds because it's full, right? Then now economical crisis, which is why we are here. I need you guys to understand why we are here. Why did we even need to do Pwani Innovation Week? So that you can remove the mindset of wanting to be employed, needing to be employed. You do not need to be employed. Create your business, okay? Create your opportunity. Like she said, build your table, build your chair, build your bed so that you have a place to sleep and it's not tied to anybody. You have a place to sit and it's not tied to anybody. And you have a place to eat, to talk, to do whatever you want to do. And it's not tied to anybody because you've done it yourself, okay? So, I think I was supposed to introduce myself, and I just went on and on.
Which is great. I mean, you have set the tone.
Thank you.
You've challenged us. I think the challenge here is to the young people. This is your role model. She was seated right there, and she was curious. She asked questions, and that's why she's here today to mentor the next generation. She's challenged us to really be curious and make our own things, and really challenge yourself to create jobs, not to be employed. Maureen, and before Maureen, may I kindly request if Amida Mustafa, are you here? If you're here, kindly join us. I know we have a hard stop at exactly 1, so it's great that we are having this conversation. And Maureen, you lead women in technology in Huawei, and you've been running programs to support girls and women. How then do you see the gaps that have been being addressed by some of the programs that you run, even as you introduce yourself?
Hello. So good afternoon. My name is Engineer Maureen Mwaniki, and I know many people don't know that. I'm an engineer by profession, and it's amazing. It's amazing to see so many ladies here, gentlemen. I mean, it's amazing to just have this chance to speak. And one of the things is that I'm very passionate around supporting women. I'll just give how I got to Women in Technology, Huawei, and being a director there, as I carry many other hats. Today I'll just speak about being Women in Technology, Huawei, is the fact that I personally faced the challenges that even Dr. Adea talked about. So the challenges of being in engineering and not getting people who will support you, no mentors, and not because you're not getting, but it's just because, unfortunately, even when you reach out to them, they're really not helping. So for me, was actually my mentors were male mentors, and they're the ones who helped me pull me up, and up to date, most of them have been male mentors because they've been able to push me beyond that comfort zone. Now, why did I start that program? Is because, not that I was just targeting women, is because of the struggles I personally faced, and I know there's that young girl in university, in the STEM industry, facing the same challenge I did. So Women in Technology came in to address that challenge and put in a space because in my space, being in Huawei, you face so many people. You have partners you work with, you have customers you work with, you have parastatals, all these people. And that's where I figured this can be a chance for me to, through Women in Technology Huawei. Actually, if you read it, it's when you abbreviate it, it's WITH. WITH means that we walk with you. We walk together with this institution because we need to hold someone's hand. So what programs did we come up with? So we came up with programs like we partnered even with Konza Ministry of ICT to come up with even Girls for ICT, where we do programs like training on cloud computing. We do trainings around even artificial intelligence. So just the basics that over here very many people talk about, we don't know where to get this. We even now have opened it up to girls only. We have, how many of you have seen a truck around called DigiTruck? Anyone? Anyone? DigiTruck? Yes. So I'm seeing like, I can't even count the numbers. There is a truck that is not too far from here. It's a walking distance next to Fort Jesus, that has digital equipment in it, like tablets and all that, where you can go for basic training. And it's a mobile truck, like literally moves from county to county. And yesterday, if you notice, there were some people who graduated from that truck. Now that tells you there's so many opportunities within your county, or even coming from mentor, Mahmoud mentored us, that pushed us that we must move away from Nairobi. We've brought a whole truck here to train you on basic digital skills. And this truck is leaving, I think, in a few weeks' time. But as I look at the numbers, it's just a very few number of people who know about this truck. And those are the opportunities as women or young people we miss out. Why? Because you don't spread the word. You don't spread the word that there are opportunities here. So you wataka kujijenga mwenyewe. You don't want to build this other person. So that is another program that is there. We have ICT competition through our ICT Academy. How many of you have done Huawei certifications through, we have certain certifications for artificial intelligence, all that. Trust me, they're all online. They're competitions. And these competitions actually take you to regional, and you're even taken to HQ, where you compete globally, global level, with other global people, where you showcase the talents that you have. So for me, I'm looking at it from the point of, we're still very comfortable with, wacha tungoje Pwani Innovation Week iishe, watu warudi makwao, we wait for the next Pwani Innovation Week, we know whether Huawei or Konza or other institutions come to help us. You know, we must be proactive. We must look for these programs. We have programs like mentorships, internships, and those are the things that link you to your day-to-day growth. For me, I always say that if you're not learning something new every day, something new, even for me, basic, every day, then you will continue in your comfort zone. You'll continue being that same person. And remember, the industry doesn't look for ordinary people. It looks for extraordinary people. So for us to be seated here, we are not just ordinary. So we've moved ourselves from that. So please watch out for daily activities like ICT competitions from Huawei platforms, from girls in ICT. We have other programs even with Swahili Port. And I would like to also challenge each and every person here. Mentor keeps challenging me, Mahmoud. By the time we leave here, we must come out with someone we're going to mentor. But we can only come out with someone we want to mentor if you want to be mentored. Thank you.
Wow. Clap for yourselves for being extraordinary. That if you are seated here, you're not an ordinary person. We are about to pick reactions from yourselves, even as you go to the next round of responses. Madam Hamida Mustafa will actually give the closing remark. So we appreciate you, thank you. But from this conversation, the mood seems to be taking us to where Shiro is seated. We are moving from app developers to developers of the actual products that we need, isn't it? We want to solve our own challenges, and this panel must come up with a solution that will take us to the next level. We do not want to see empty containers going back to wherever they are coming from. And I think this is the tone that you are building. One, we want her truck to meet carpenters in Kilifi. We want her truck to meet whoever they are meeting in Kisii, so that we build this country by having products that we can trade on, isn't it? And that is the mood, Shiro. How then do we move from this conversation right here to sitting with that carpenter and bringing professor to give us the design language and how to standardize for export?
Thank you. First of all, I must commend all the work that has been done thus far. It's easy to criticize because we are not here, but we do know it's also a journey. I love that I've seen all the wonderful partners from your Safaricoms, your Googles, and everybody who I have interacted with on various platforms. So thank you for talking about STEM. We actually call it STEAM, S-T-E-A and M, because without A, which is art, which is design, everything that is man-made, every single thing has been designed, even software. Okay, please, as you're talking to young people, as you're mentoring them, don't make them feel inadequate because they're creatives. So what happens is, again, you don't have to be the original techie. We've heard of economists here who now work in tech. You could partner with somebody who's very, very good in design, somebody who's very good in technology, and you come up with a product. You don't have to be that person to do everything yourself. I am very good. Actually, I am brilliant. I'm exceptional in design, and I'm not saying this pretending. I'm exceptional at what I do. However, I am not brilliant in carpentry. So what I've done, I've then hired brilliant carpenters. Right now, we're designing, everybody says, where's your website? I'm like, that's a bit archaic. I don't need a website. What we're creating as a business now with my younger brother is an augmented reality app. So I'm brilliant in design, but how do I bring my products into your home? It's not through a website. Guys, do not design a website for anybody. You need to be designing augmented reality apps. We don't have them. It's about an experience. You need to be learning, how am I designing for the metaverse, which is what you're living in now. It's not my world. It's the reality. So as much as you're looking at, okay, existing software and everything, what is the future? I want to employ young people, but I'm not going to employ you when you show me you've done app development, I don't know, websites. I will employ you when you've shown me you can do an augmented reality app, or that you even understand that, right? I go back to, and I'm not apologetic about this, stop being consumers of people's products. Stop it. The poverty is ours. We are the ones wearing the shoe that is pinching us, if you're even lucky to have a shoe. Why aren't we designing our own shoes online and making them with materials that suit us for our weather? You understand? Yesterday I kept asking, does anybody have Madafu? No. Is there Madafu anywhere? No. I'm like, dear coastal people, it is a brilliant product. It is being sold abroad in packets. We're bringing it in supermarkets in Nairobi from, I don't know, Taiwan. It's coming by ship. Madafu is coming by ship. How is that even a possibility? That we're bringing Madafu from this thing here? But I was told, no, we have orange juice. No, this is the course. This is Pwani Innovation Week. Why aren't we proud of what we know? We talk about the Lamu doors, oh, Fort Jesus, wonderful. Why is everything I'm looking at from somewhere else? Are we not proud of ourselves? The shoe is pinching us. No offense to all the multinationals. It's pinching us, right? Our brothers, our sisters, our parents. Why aren't we then changing that using technology? okay? I would love to see a place like this and many others around the country that have hubs where creatives understand what technology does to make their design and in manufacturing easier. There's absolutely no shame in being a carpenter, no shame in being a welder, because without us, you will be sleeping on the floor. Without us, there will be no roof above your head. True? True? Mechanics, if you don't know how to fix your car, it doesn't matter if you're the CEO of the world. That car will not move. Fact? Doesn't matter how clever you are. If you don't know how to change the fuse in your house and you have a short circuit, doesn't matter how clever you are. If you don't know plumbing, how to auger, even a CEO might not shower, right? So don't dharau skills. It is not for people who didn't go to school. I went to a very good school. I even went to university abroad. And then I came back to do carpentry. There is no shame in what we do with our hands. But then what have I done? I've then understood the use of technology. And I've brought it into design and into manufacturing. You are never going to challenge me and say my chair is not standard, doesn't meet global standards, blah, blah, blah. My chair will be for me because my bums are wider. Okay? The bathroom,
sorry, madam.
Yes, the bathroom will be bigger for us, the bathtub, because our hips are wider. True? Have you ever entered a bathtub? You're like, okay, how do I come out? Can we design for ourselves? Our children at birth, you talked about your child. My child was born almost 4.5 kilos. I'm like, what is this? Of course, the baby cot has to be bigger and heavier. True? How many of us sleep with our relatives in our house sharing a bed? Most of us. That bed cannot fall. But if it's from somewhere else where they sleep one child per house, it will fall. Design for us.
Sini ukweli, wangapi wameanguka kwa kitanda?
Even in high school, our boarding, so what I'm trying to say in a very, very simple way, everything you're touching, from when you wake up to the switch to everything, has been designed and then made. Not anymore manually, not carving. There's a gentleman yesterday when we went round, and I appreciate what they're doing. Like I said, I must give credit to what's been done so far. And he had these key rings. And I asked him, how much are they? He said, I'm not selling. I said, why? He says, oh, we're promoting what we do as young people. I said, so why aren't you selling them? Oh, I said, I want to buy them. He was so shocked. Please don't get into the mentality of we won't buy your stuff. We will buy your stuff. Have a price. And I told him I want 5 of each. He was so confused. Please never have an expo here again and there's nothing for us to buy. We want to buy. We don't want to give you aid. I want to trade with you, because if I give you money for your product, not charity, for your product, then you'll buy raw material, you do what? Buy more, but use technology, guys. It exists. I will give you, please take my email, c.waweru, C for cat, .waweru @icloud.com. That is my personal one for every day. At icloud.com. Please sumbua me on that email. I don't sleep because Africa does not have the luxury of time. I do not sleep. You'll find me online 24/7 because we do not have the luxury of time. Email me if you want me to talk to you, to guide you, to bring you to Nairobi to see my factory. We will walk this journey with you. I am intentional, but mentorship is also not about wasting your own time or your mentor's time. And we can and we will do this. Remember that. It's tough. It's tough. But our forefathers did it. This is our time. Please take this entire event that has been done for you, not for granted. You're not entitled. Do not be entitled. Look at the opportunities and run with them and spread the word.
So Shiro, probably proposed way forward as you give your closing remark. I'm told we are running out of time.
Way forward is the next. I would love to challenge the organizers. Way forward, the next one better be experiencing products made by the Pwani people themselves.
So for us to get those products, what we must get hands on, I'm not leaving Daktari, Jane, we must really begin to keep this conversation until we are back here.
100%, because it starts now.
Okay.
The next event is when?
Next year.
Correct. How many months is that? And in between we have elections.
12 months.
Okay? It's not enough time. It starts now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Asante sana. Husna, please give us your next reactions, even as you give us your closing remark.
Okay. Let me tell you about a clever thing I did. I had not actually, I left you somewhere in the middle where there was an economic crisis apparently in Kenya. So we need to be able to create our own opportunities in order to survive. Esther, if I'm not wrong, there is almost 70% unemployment in Kenya. Who is going to hire you? Who's going to hire 70% of Kenyans, of you? Who's going to hire you? So the only solution is for you to create an opportunity for yourself. For me, I went into e-government. What does that mean? What I realized, the people who are regulating us and telling us this is the line to cross, this is the path to walk, you cannot be this tall, you cannot be this short, and all that, hypothetically and metaphorically, I hope you understand that. Actually, people who are also learning just like us. They need training, they need capacity building, okay? So, what I realized, that was an opportunity for me. I got into e-government so that I can help teach them how to regulate, teach them how to do policy, teach them how to improve opportunity making, environment building for entrepreneurs to be able to survive. For example, you can't be able to go and sit with a government official and tell him, we want to launch a fintech solution. Let's say M-Pesa. Do you think M-Pesa, when it came, anybody in Kenya was able to regulate it? No. It could not be regulated because the regulators actually did not have the capacity to regulate. So regulation came after. And I'm not saying, I was having a discussion with Madam Smeya in the morning, I'm not saying that we need to limit innovation. No. Innovation and regulation needs to go as per, bega kwa bega, so that you can innovate and you can also be regulated properly, appropriately. For example, let me say this in a language and try and make it simpler. Tuliambiwa innovation and digital transformation, digitization and all that, it's a two-part sword. Okay? Ni panga lenye liko na ncha mbili, whatever. So iko na two sides. It is just as good as it can be bad. Okay? For example, the data commissioner yesterday was telling us they're getting things in order, they're going to make sure you know how to protect your data and all that. What does that mean? What does that tell you? They're learning. That tells you they're also learning. Okay? So the Digital Economy report of 2019 says, in order for Africa to get to where it's supposed to be in terms of digital status, digital transformation status, infrastructure, ndo hiyo cable imefika, platform, digital finances, digital entrepreneurship. There was a fifth one, keeps on getting off my head, but I want to pass this message. And I'll tell you why I'm doing this. The fifth one was digital skills. Oh my goodness, digital skills. We need the skills which we can see here to be able to get there. So there's someone setting up the infrastructure, someone else building their platforms, which is the apps, someone else becoming an entrepreneur, someone else who needs to actually have the skill to use it. That means these are 5 different platforms which you can all work on. These are 5 different platforms, opportunities that you can all work on. Okay, so please take note of that. and go home with it and think about where you want to position yourself in this. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be a digital entrepreneur? Do you want to be a trainer in digital skills? Do you want to open a school for training? Do you want to, you know, where do you want to put yourself in this position so that you create your own opportunity and give yourself a chance to be part of the digital transformation instead of being a product that can be used in the digital transformation. Thank you.
Wow. You've been given 5 areas that you need to pick and identify yourself. Thank you so very much. Maureen, as you give us way forward, we are closing.
So for me, I'll just mention, it's somewhere that I read, just allow me to just, it's not the strongest of the species or the most intelligent that survive, but those that can adapt to change, okay? So, as I try to close this whole session, is that ask yourself, are you adapting with the changes around you? Are you able to pick out? We've had remarkable people that have spoken here. I mean, me being where I am now, I still look up to mentors. I still grab onto people to learn from them. She's talked about one key area, digital skills. You have a Digitrack that is here. You have online platforms. You have people. Right now, we're talking about tech on a daily basis. COVID hit us, and for me, sorry to say, I hope I'm not quoted in any government area or anything, but for me, I appreciated COVID. Why? Because it opened up our eyes to the uncomfortable place we always talked about. We talked about digital skills, we talked about, I don't know, going online, all these things. But COVID made us fast track on our developments. So how are you able, your kids are going, they're learning online. We have now kids appreciating all the way from the Western world and seeing that we, even in Africa, can go online and learn, yeah? So what happened? It opened up Africa to the outside world. It opened up Kenya. Now we are talking about a sea cable that has, the cable that landed yesterday. So what are you doing as the person, as a youth, that when you're seated there on a daily basis, what are you doing with the skills? Shiro talked so well about skills. You cannot find yourself developing and trying to become this extraordinary person if you're not going to develop with your hands, okay? They always talk about, oh my God, AI is coming, 5G is coming to replace the human aspect. One thing you need to remember, that for all this AI and robots working, there are developers behind it. There are people who have to code. There are people who still. So how good will you get to code a better robot than the one that is busy being driven around? How good will you be to be able to make learning online better? How well will you be, what good thing are you going to bring in to become a better carpenter, to sell your stuff out there? So we talk about e-commerce, taking things. The president talked about a young lady who, on International Women's Day, who was able to fly some drone which will take medicine into remote areas. What did it start with? Just the basic things that they tried out. And one thing I'll tell you for sure, for you to grow, you must fall so many times.
Thank you.
Yes. So thank you so much, and please learn from that.
All right. So we have Maureen here helping us understand the use of technology and e-commerce. We are being supported from the policy, and Shiro is helping us produce the product. So we are not stopping here. We are going to the ground to try and ensure that indeed we are developing those products that we can take to the market through e-commerce. But then that skill that we are learning, we must refine it, isn't it? And so we've been challenged that you do not have to be a techie, but you just need to have a skill and then you perfect it. That's where Moringa School comes in. But before I invite Hamada to give her remarks, I really wish to request that you appreciate my panel. Asante sana. Thank you so very much. At this point in time, I would like to hand over the microphone to our speaker who will give the closing remarks and tell us how we can perfect that skill, and then back to the MC who will then invite the final speaker. Asanteni sana, naitwa June Chepkemei.
Okay, sorry, it's my first time speaking in front of a crowd, so bear with me. I'm Hamida Mustafa. I'm a technical mentor in Moringa School. Basically, what we do as an organization is we mentor people in different programming skills. So we always say that the next world that we're gonna go into is all about technology, yeah? So we try and bridge that gap. People say that we don't get opportunities to like invent something or anything of that sort. As a person, I always believe that even though someone has made something out there, there's always another, like a better version of it. So even if it's a website, sorry, and you see that in that website, you can't click a button. You can try as a developer, you can try and find the bug, fix it, and tell them. So technology is not depending on, like, it's not like every day you'll invent something new. It's hard to think of what is not there. So you can try like with whatever is there, what can you better, like how can you make it better? How can you improve it? That's also innovation, if I'm not wrong. So speaking here is really a privilege, sitting with amazing people, listening to amazing people. You have to adapt to whatever they say. You have to do a follow-up on all, like everything they say, because we as women, we always put like 101% like effort more than men. So we have to like give ourselves the drive. The drive is really important. The passion is also important. So you have to make sure that you're better than them. A personal experience, I was working on a project, and in my entire class, it was a robotic project in school. So I was the only lady in our class. So I had to like do extra work, do extra research, so that I can be able to like deliver whatever those guys were doing. Because when you sit with them, you are the odd one, you're like the odd one, so you have like every attention is on you. So try as much as possible as a lady, as a woman, to shine, to outshine them. So all in all, I really want to appreciate the Pwani Innovation Week and the Technogirls for organizing this event, because it really impacts women out there. We have like, I've seen different organizations working with women. So when like we see something like this, even from Nairobi, we feel it's like a really privilege to like make us attend it. That's all, yeah.
Thank you very much, Hamida. Thank you. A round of applause for Hamida. And thank you very much to the panel. Now I'll ask you to exit the stage. Thank you very much for a brilliant job. I think today has been very exciting. I think even the weather agreed that it was women, so it's more windy, you know, and the energy is good. So at this point, I'd like not to waste so much time, because we also have some serious panels in the afternoon. I want us to break for lunch, and kindly I'm requesting that today we keep time. We'll be here at 2:20. Kindly at 2:20, I want everybody back in the arena. Enjoy your lunch. Thank you very much, and see you in the afternoon.
Number one, farmer. Number two, the person who bought the nyanya. And number three, the person in logistics. We are able to update. Now the trucker has come from Nyeri on the application. Now it has reached Nairobi. It's now coming. Up to when it arrives.
Very cool. Okay. And all that lives on the
blockchain technology.
On the blockchain.
Yes.
Why blockchain? Like, what's that doing that you couldn't do without blockchain?
All right. So blockchain is a very interesting technology because number one, there is the factor of decentralization, and the best thing with blockchain is anything you do there, you cannot tamper with it easily. Why? Because number one, it is decentralized. Being decentralized makes it difficult for somebody to be able to edit or change information. So once we upload on the decentralized ledgers that the truck has reached Nairobi, we update, it has now reached Voi, it's coming. We cannot change and say it was still in Nairobi. It's permanently there until it arrives. When it's arrived, we release the funds after the inventory has been signed.
Very cool. Okay. Awesome. Let's go to Fatma for a second. So Fatma, you're taking the same sort of decentralized approach and applying it now to educational courses?
Yes.
Yep, you're on. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so...
You gotta hold it up close because it's windy.
Yeah, so applying the same type of technology that deals with decentralization, but in the educational sector. So, have you imagined, let's say you're a creator, you do anything, let's say you're a photographer, you're a teacher, you're an artist, and then you upload your work online, then all of a sudden somebody steals it and sells it somewhere else. Centralized systems enable such things to happen, like your content isn't safe. So with an educational platform where the educational content is safe, it is achieved by the decentralized technology, which is the blockchain. I bet you know so many centralized, so many existing educational platforms that are there online at the moment. Do you know any of them? Do you take courses online?
Anybody? Yeah?
Where?
Sarah?
Another one? Yeah. So there's one thing that happens on Udemy and Coursera.
Hold the mic closer.
Oh, okay. There's one thing that happens there. Course instructor uploads their course there, but the course instructor doesn't get all the royalties, all the money that he deserves or she deserves. So what happens after the course is uploaded? Somebody else who is like a hacker, not really a hacker. There are some people who are very smart on the internet. They steal the courses, or they download them, or they can even buy them and then sell them for a cheaper price, or even give them out to free. So they're usually pirated courses. Like the same way people pirate movies. You can go to BitTorrent and download a movie for free, of which the movie could have been bought somewhere on a CD, or you have to get a Netflix subscription. So this system, what it does is, course instructor uploads their course, and no one else can have access unless you subscribe to it. Like you have to buy something called an NFT. Do you know what an NFT is? Yeah, you're good. Jargon.
Jargon.
Okay,
I can explain NFTs.
I'm going to talk about it later, a little bit later, but what you're using on that system are NFTs. So you have to buy an NFT for you to get access to a course. So no one else can get access to the course without the NFT, and you can't sell it anywhere else apart from that platform. So we're trying to mitigate course piracy on that decentralized platform that lives on the blockchain. Do you know what the blockchain is? Or is it jargon? Jargon. So we have to explain that too. Don't worry, we're going to clarify everything here. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Before we go on to the last one, I want to ask some questions here. So who here has ever heard of Bitcoin? Anybody still awake? Right? Cool. Who here owns any Bitcoin?
I can't remember the password to my wallet.
You can't find the password as well. You used to own Bitcoin. Anybody else? All right. Who here owns any cryptocurrencies? Hands up, a little bit. 1, 2, 3. 3 people in the audience? All right. Who here wants to own some cryptocurrency? Everybody. Who here wants to own some cryptocurrency but has no idea how to do it? Maybe? All right, we can talk about that. All right. I think we're gonna step back a little bit. We're gonna talk about that, but let's talk about one currency in particular called Bitcoin, right? And Paco, tell us sort of like, why have you chosen Bitcoin to travel around the world instead of, I don't know, shillings or dollars or anything else you could have used? Why are you doing this? What do you think?
Hello. Jumbo. Hi everyone, my name is Paco and Asante. Bitcoin is the future. Bitcoin replaces M-Pesa. We all use M-Pesa? Yes. Without going to the bank. 88% of Kenya is unbanked. Yeah? So the purpose of Bitcoin was to unbank the banks. We don't need banks. So that's why Bitcoin came in place. What I am doing or why Bitcoin?
Talk about yourself first.
Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm traveling 40 countries in 400 days by just using Bitcoin. The purpose of doing this is to show there is mass adoption and mass awareness, to tell people what Bitcoin is, what is the difference between Bitcoin and other altcoins. So cryptocurrency has a lot of things, and I am vlogging my entire journey, and I'm showing that humans are really kind. Kenya is my 8th country, and I have found 7 places in Kenya that accept Bitcoin. I found a bar in Mtwapa that accepts Bitcoin. I found a bookshop in Nairobi that accepts Bitcoin. I found a restaurant in Nairobi called Betty's Place that accepts Bitcoin. So there are such places that accept Bitcoin and people are aware of it. To make it very exciting for Kenya, Canero. Yeah? Canero, yeah? Kenya is the 5th largest cryptocurrency trader in the world. With all of this cryptocurrency trading comes a lot of scams, and people end up losing a lot of money because they trust. We are humans, we are born to trust. Like we trust our teachers, like we trust everything pretty much. Bitcoin is trustless. The reason of Bitcoin was, I'm going to explain to you Bitcoin in 5 simple steps. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, okay? It is trustless. You hear the word of blockchain. It's on a blockchain. It is immutable. That means anything that goes on a Bitcoin blockchain cannot be erased or reversed. It can never be changed. I repeat, only on Bitcoin blockchain. There is no censorship. Like in M-Pesa, we have a censorship that you can just send 300,000 in a day or 10,000 somewhere. Yeah. In Bitcoin, you can send n number of amount without any censorship. Bitcoin doesn't see whether it's a Friday, Saturday or a Sunday. You can send your Bitcoin across anywhere. It maintains your privacy. You do not need to know your name, your number, where you are from, no KYC, and you can still own Bitcoin. And short, what Bitcoin was came to tell, to sort out something really great was to sort out double spending, which I'll get into it later. But in short, Bitcoin says don't trust, verify. If it's on the chain, yes, it's verified. So don't trust, verify. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, so there's a lot of jargon that came out there. I didn't hear you guys shouting, right? So we talked about trust, we talked trustless, we talked cryptocurrency, NFTs, immutability. There's so many words that have been thrown out there. So let's step back a little bit and go to some basics now that I sort of get a sense of where everybody's at, right? So there's 2 main concepts we're going to talk about here, right? Cryptocurrencies and blockchain. Those 2 things are not necessarily the same thing. The cryptocurrency is an example of an application that uses blockchain. Okay? So let's start by explaining that as a concept, and then we'll explain how it fits in with blockchain. Okay? So, I have some props. I'm a rich man, right? How much is this worth? 500 shillings, 500 bob. How much is this worth? 1,000 shillings. How much is this bill? What did it cost the government to make this bill? Not like fractions of a cent, right? It's a little piece of paper with some ink on it, right? How much more did it cost to make this one than this one? Nothing. They cost the same thing, right? But why? Why is it, if it costs the same, if they're both just a piece of paper, why is this one worth double as much as this one? Anybody? Numbers? So if I take a pen and I write a 0 at the end of the 500, is this now worth 5,000? No, it doesn't work that way, right? Value, it's because we all agree, right? We agree on the value of these. As a community, we in Kenya have agreed these brown ones are worth double the green ones, right? It's completely arbitrary, but we've just agreed that. And if everybody follows that, then that's what it's a fundamental piece to understand. The value of a currency is based upon the demand of what people are willing to value it for, right? If a bottle of water, Maji, is 100 bob, I can get 10 of them with this, or I can get 5 of them with this. Therefore, I know the value, okay? Here's the second thing. 5. This is the only green 500 shilling note with that serial number on it in the entire world. It is completely unique. If I rip it in half, it's gone. The value is gone. I can't use it anymore. I can't replace it. It's just, that's it. There's only one. It is non-fungible. That's a key word. Fungibility, meaning this is completely unique. Everybody repeat after me. Non-fungible? Non-fungible, exactly, okay? So, if I'm going to go to Amina, and I'm going to give her my 500 bob, I've now transferred 500 value from me to her, right? But what if I say, okay, she doesn't actually need the piece of paper. I just take these numbers, and I write down that Jay owns those. And now I say, okay, Amina, I'm going to give this to you. And so we transfer those numbers, and now Amina holds those numbers. Have we just transferred the value to her? Yes. We don't need the piece of paper, right? Just transferring the code is enough. What works like that? M-Pesa, right? With M-Pesa, I can send money to anybody. I don't have to actually send the piece of paper. There's nobody at Safaricom who runs from cubicle to cubicle saying, oh, Ben just gave Jay this, and have to move the notes back and forth, right? That's not how M-Pesa works. It's all digital, right? It's just a database of those numbers going back and forth showing that the value has transferred between the registered owners. I used to own this. Now I give it to Amina. She now owns it, right? But here's the problem. Amina then says, I never gave her the money, right? I gave her my 500. It's gone. I don't have it anymore. I say Amina now owes me 5 bottles of water. And she goes, yeah, but I never got the money, right? What can I do? How can I solve that? Anybody? I have on my phone, I have an SMS from M-Pesa that says, I sent you the money, right? Well, Amina says, oh, well, you could fake that. Anybody can create a fake SMS. I'm like, oh, yeah, but you have one too. And she goes, oh, no, I don't. All right, so I'll tell you what. So instead, we'll go to Safaricom, and we'll check the database at Safaricom, and we'll show that the transaction is there. But there's a problem with that. Amina's uncle works for Safaricom, and she got him to delete the record. So now I have nothing. right? I have nothing, I can't do anything about it. But what if we took that database, that ledger of records at Safaricom, and we copied it 1,000,000 times so that every bank in Kenya has a copy of it, the government has a copy of it, Paco has a copy of it, we all have copies of that ledger. Now, Amina can't delete it, right? That's the way blockchain works. It's called a distributed ledger system. So, we're transferring value from one wallet, my wallet, to her wallet with an agreed value that we've agreed upon in a set currency, in the moment shillings, and we're writing down that transaction. Jay sent Amina 500 shillings, and we put that in a ledger that gets copied 1,000,000 times. Now, that record cannot be deleted. It is, anybody? Immutable. See, look at this. We're like 5 minutes into the panel. You've already learned non-fungible, distributed ledger, and immutable, right? Now, here's the cool thing. I sent her shillings. Would the same system work if I sent her euros? Does M-Pesa only work on shillings? Could it work on euros, potentially? Yeah. Yes, right? Could it work in dollars? Sure, right? There's all different currencies. Is $1 worth the same as 1 shilling? No. How much is $1 worth today, roughly? 150. About 100 shillings, right? So a shilling is a much smaller currency than a dollar, right? Well, when we talk about blockchain and cryptocurrencies, it's the exact same thing. Paco, how much is 1 Bitcoin today worth in dollars?
47,000.
$47,000 for 1 Bitcoin. How much is 1 Shibu? How much? 20 shillings. 20 shillings for 1 Shibu, right? So all these different cryptocurrencies you've heard about, they're just like dollars and yens and shillings and whatever. They're just different currencies with different values, okay? Now, the problem is, a lot of people, sorry guys, I know I'm trying to hog the panel, but I just want to explain the basics, right? So the problem with cryptocurrencies and all that, right, is that a lot of people think blockchain means crypto. And crypto means, what's the value of Bitcoin today, right? If I can buy it at 20,000 and I can sell it at 45,000, oh, I'm rich, right? But that's not what we're here to talk about today. What we're here to talk about today is using that same distributed ledger concept, that same blockchain concept, and how can we actually get what's called utility out of it, using it for actual valuable projects that actually change the lives of Wananchi here on the coast, right? And so that's what we wanted to kind of really highlight today. But I thought maybe take a couple of minutes and just step back. So is everybody cool with all those? Is that helpful? All right, awesome. So I'm confused about something then. Hassan, you said that your system is there for dealing with the problem of trust or lack of trust, and that it creates trust in the system. But Paco says that blockchain is good for creating trustless systems. So aren't you asking the Mama Mboga to trust your system as a centralized system, that you're still going to release the escrow properly? Can you talk about that?
Okay, thank you. Paco said Bitcoin is trustless. Bitcoin is decentralized. Now, before Mama Mboga understands what decentralization means, we bring her on blockchain, still using Kenya shillings, and then slow by slow, she will now be able to capture the decentralization part. Because what she wants is to put food on the table. She's not interested in trading Bitcoin. She doesn't know what Bitcoin is. But she wants to scale her business. If in Corona period, she lost a lot of cash because we had lockdowns, We want to bring up a system that will help her earn money without losing because of trust issues. So that at the end of the day, if she was making 70,000 a month from the sale of nyanya, cabbage, and onions, she can now make 120,000 or 200,000. Watoto hawatalala njaa. Si ni ukweli? Ukweli ama uongo? Yes, at the end of the day, kama anaishi town, atalipa rent. Ukweli ama uongo? So for us to be able to help huyu mama mboga, because you will bear me witness, has anyone read this book known as Diffusion of Technology? It's written by Everett Rogers. Theory of Technology. How technology comes, how we adopt, and how it declines. Have you read it? Hello?
Not yet.
Hello? Are people sleeping? Have you read the book? No.
No.
No one has read it?
No.
If you've read, I gave you 1,000 shillings. Have you? Okay. So Everett Rogers states clearly that in the primary stage, we have the people we call the techies. Techies are people who are actually developing something on a new pioneering technology. Like when internet came, we had a number of people from 1902 who were trying to develop an IP address. We call them the techies. And then from 1970 something coming down, we had the early adopters. Early adopters, one of them is the owner of Microsoft. Who knows the owner of Microsoft? Microsoft?
It's a public listed company. Millions of people own it.
Yeah, exactly. But who is the founder?
The founder?
The founder of the Microsoft?
Paul
Yes?
Allen.
Everyone knows him. He's actually one of the early adopters of internet. Early adopters. He developed, not developing, but he actually came up with a system on internet. That's why he was able to accumulate a lot. He provided a solution. He gave internet a utility, a usability. We understand now? Now, after the early adopters, we have the early majority. And then we have the late majority, and then the rest are what we call laggards. Are you a laggard? Are you a laggard? Laggards have no advantage because they're coming in when the technology is declining. Are we together? So that's why, on explaining the point about Mama Mboga, we want Mama Mboga also to be on blockchain, but we take her slow because understanding technology is not easy compared to us youth. Are we together? Are we together? Yes, first of all, we start by scaling her business. And then later on, we slow by slow release the information up to when we'll talk about decentralization. Thank you.
All right, so one thing I promised you today was we weren't going to do jargon. The other thing I promised you is that we're going to be accurate. So Bill Gates did not invent the internet, just so you know. Actually, the internet came at least 20 years before Bill Gates ever got involved, thanks to ARPANET and UUNet and a bunch of other systems. So I'll send you lots of cool history books if you want. Bill Gates invented DOS, absolutely, although even that one, not really. It was a roll-off of CPM. But anyhow, we want to be accurate here because we want everybody to learn and we want to make sure you're learning the right things, right? So let's change topics for a second and let's talk about NFTs, right? So Fatima, you did an NFT workshop yesterday at Close the Gap.
Yeah, yesterday, if you closed the gap yesterday, yeah, I did an NFT workshop the whole day from around 9 to 4 p.m. So does anybody have a clue what an NFT is?
Anybody know what an NFT is other than Ben Roberts? Yeah, up there. What's an NFT? Just shout it out. I'll take it.
Say, man. What I understand, NFT is a non-fungible token. So, due to blockchain technology, people who are creative can add items in something like a metaverse, where these items are like assets and people can buy them, so that they can have the copyrights.
Very cool. So the sense of ownership of an asset. Those are key components, right? And being able to transfer them for value. Well, that's a good answer. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, you are correct. An NFT is usually a digital asset. I can give you an example. For example, your favorite musician came here and he said he wanted to perform, but you only have to buy tickets for you to get to the concert. So the tickets are only bought online, but you won't have the physical one. Or you can even have it, but you have to buy it online such that when you get at the gate, you show the ticket. So that ticket can also act like an NFT. So it's a digital asset that has a unique value. It's a unique digital asset that is valuable. So most of these NFTs, they are developed or they exist on this blockchain technology. Jargon?
No.
Oh, we're cool. Okay. So these NFTs exist on the blockchain technology, and most of them, or I can say these NFTs are used to prove who the owner of that asset is, and it shows if it can be transferable from one person to another. It even shows that it came from Paco to me to Hassan, and me and Hassan to Jay. So it usually, they can also be used for traceability of items on the internet. For example, during the workshop, I know most of you weren't there yesterday, these online shops, I don't know if you've seen them, that we're using currently, Jumia, Kilimall. When you're on the online shop, what do you usually buy? Like, are you buying that image that you're seeing, or you're buying that substance that you want? Let's say you want to buy a bottle of water from Kilimall. When you buy, are you buying because you've seen that image of that bottle of water, or you're buying a bottle of water that you're going to get there directly? You're buying a representation of whatever you're going to get. So NFTs work in a similar way. They can also prove a representation of a physical asset. You can buy an NFT for this table. I say this is an NFT proving that this is this table, such that you buy whatever you're seeing on the internet that has the same signature, or we can say it in simpler terms. Let's use something like a serial number. Whatever you're buying on the internet has the same serial number as this table. When you come get it, look at it on the side, you'll see that same serial number. So they can represent physical items or even digital items. Digital items, I've mentioned something like the ticket. So there's no need of you having it like a tangible one, a piece of paper. You can just come show it on phone that, hey, I'm this owner of the ticket, and this is my ticket number, which is a signature verifying you that you are the owner of that ticket. So this educational platform that building, and we are building as a team, it's our startup by the name Primero. So what it does is you buy something like a ticket or that NFT that gives you access to that cause, such that you just don't get access to the cause if you don't prove that you are the owner of that ticket. So that's how NFTs basically work. So I've given an example of the ticket. So if anybody asks you what an NFT is at the moment, can you answer? What is it?
So it's an transfer of an asset. So that's cool. So I think I'm starting to understand it. I always thought that NFTs were like just pictures of monkeys, right? And that people are paying $1 million for a picture of a monkey, but you can right-click and download it and send it on WhatsApp to somebody else. Well, now I own it, but I don't, right? I didn't pay $1 million. So what's different about it, what you're saying is, it's the proof of the ownership of the actual asset.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the JPEG is just a representation of that, right?
Yes.
So if I can give maybe a practical example, let me try and think about this, right? So Ben Roberts sitting over here, I know Ben happens to own a beautiful car. He's got a beautiful red Ferrari. I'm making this up, okay? And Ben puts it for sale on Gigi, okay? And I'm bored, I'm surfing Gigi on my phone, and I see the red Ferrari for sale, and it's a nice picture, and I say, I want that Ferrari, that's great. And I send Ben $1 million shillings, making it up, okay? Have I just bought the picture of the Ferrari? No. Did I get the actual Ferrari yet? No. At the moment, I just gave him the money. I should use his system for escrow. Okay? Let's say we meet in a Naivas parking lot, and I give him my $1,000,000 in cash, and he gives me the keys to the Ferrari, and now I drive away in the Ferrari. Right? Is that a better deal? Yes? I got the Ferrari. We transferred the value to me. Yes? Everybody agree? Yes. What if 6 months from now, Ben calls the police and he says, I stole his car, and he saw that I have it? What are the police going to do? They're going to come see me and they're going to say, you stole his car. And I'm going to be like, no, I bought it from him. What are they going to ask me to show them? The logbook. I have to show them the logbook. But I didn't get the logbook from him. He still has the logbook. So who really owns the asset? Ben does. Exactly. So where's the value? Is it in the car? No. Is it in the JPEG that was on Gigi? No. It's in the logbook. It's in the record of the transfer. Right? And I could make a fake logbook, right? But the police will say, okay, we're going to go to the NTSA, we're going to check the ledger and see that the logbook is actually registered to Ben, and because we didn't transfer it through NTSA, therefore, ownership is still with him. Right? So the end, oh, so, it's funny, okay. So I want an NFT of that. No. So when I do an NFT of a monkey picture, right, what am I actually buying? What am I actually owning? Is it the JPEG? No. It's the record, the database, the ownership of it, which gets written in one database. We talked about this before. Is it in one database? No, it's in 1 million databases. It's on a distributed ledger. And that's how you can do those transfers, right? And so NFTs are not just about art and JPEGs and PNGs and all that, but they're going to have potential for cars, land, gun registries, birth certificates, all kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
That today, particularly in Africa, often go missing, get corrupted,
Yes.
right? Duplicate copies.
Yeah.
Right?
We have so many fake doctors and lawyers producing certificates which are not verified. So with such systems, they can trace that this doctor practiced for 6 years in a certain university. So it's really provable, showing that Dr. So-and-so is a qualified one, or lawyer so-and-so is a qualified one. So it's easy to prove that you are offered services by qualified people using these NFTs.
So let me now take that into another concept of what Paco mentioned, right? So Paco, you said that one Bitcoin is worth $44,000. And 47,000, it went up in the time of this panel. Damn it, I should have bought. $47,000. And you said there's like a bakery in Yeri that is accepting Bitcoin. Did you buy $47,000 of cupcakes?
No. You can buy a fraction of Bitcoin.
Okay.
So our bill was almost 4,000 Kenyan shillings. So I paid her in fraction, that is of 4,000 Kenyan shillings. So basically, let's say 1 kg is 1,000 grams. 1 kilometer is
1,000 meters.
1,000 meters. Similarly, 1 Bitcoin is 100 million sats. So it's like 0.00051, 0.0000001. You can buy as low as 1 bob. You can buy for 1 bob a Bitcoin. You can buy as little as you want.
Very cool. So that's the concept of fractionalizing.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And that means that me and whatever it was, 1,000,000 million people, combined together, we can own 1 Bitcoin.
True.
And so we can say this Bitcoin somewhere sitting on a shelf is owned by you and you and you and me and them, right? And all together, all of us in this amphitheater together could own one Bitcoin.
True.
Right?
True.
That's the idea of fractionalizing assets.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
And we can fractionalize ownership of NFTs, right?
Yeah, NFTs can also be used in real estate. For example, I can buy the whole of this building, and then I say that, how are you a fractional owner of a building? Let's say I have this building, and you also want part of it. What will you come do, or what will you ask me to do? Shares, another way, rent. So NFTs also work in the same way, such that they can be fractional. In the way when you are a renter in this building, you're a fractional owner of that building. You own part of it. So NFTs work in the same way. Yeah, you can have, access fractional ownership of assets. Like an example, the building. I'm already giving you a use case of an NFT, so when you're out of here, you can go pitch the idea somewhere else. You should give me millions of your money. I'm giving you ideas.
By the way, this is owned by Mombasa County, so if anybody offers for you to buy a piece of the amphitheater, don't give them money, okay? Trust me, it's not for sale. But let's bring it in a real Kenyan context, right? So who here knows Octopizzo? Octopizzo, right? Great rapper. So Octopizzo just released his newest song, and when a rapper or any musician releases a song, they pay money to make it, right? Studio fees and all that, pay the other musicians, etc. And then they release the song, and hopefully they make money back by people either buying the song or listening to it on Spotify and those kinds of streaming services that then pay money to them, right? But in order to do that, you have to spend a lot of money up front to make the song in the first place, right? So here's what Octopizzo did. He worked with a company called Honeycoin, which is a Kenyan startup, and he did a fractionalized NFT for the royalties for his new song. So he kept 50% of the royalties for the song, and the other 50% he sold to all of his fans for a few bob each as fractional ownership NFTs of the royalties. And then any royalties that come in forever now for that song will get paid out to all of the fans who bought those NFTs, right? And so now, if I own some of the royalty NFTs for that song, now I'm going to go tell all my friends, you should listen to this song, it's really great, because I'm making more money, right? And so now he has an army of fans who are promoting his song for him, right? And he got the cash up front for 50% of it, right? It's a really smart move, right? So that's an example of how NFTs can be connected to real-world assets of different things, right? In that case, it's a music song. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah? Really cool. Are there any creators in the audience today? People who are musicians or painters or sculptors or anything? Writers? Anybody make anything? We have one person. Really? You guys don't make anything? What did you do in arts and class when you were in school? Okay, good. We got 2. That's good. 3. Awesome. So this is something you might want to think about, right? There's all kinds of ways to use blockchain for practical means in your lives in these kinds of projects. And it doesn't have to be through cryptocurrencies, right? Let me give you one more example and I'll come back to you guys, right? So there's another Kenyan startup. I'm trying to really keep this Kenyan in terms of the innovations, right? There's another Kenyan startup you guys may have heard of called Kotani Pay. Anybody heard of Kotani Pay? No? Great company. So Kotani Pay said that in Kakuma and Dadaab and in other refugee camps around Africa, there are refugees there who have less than 200 bob a day. And there's something called UBI, Universal Basic Income, that gets paid to them. The Kenya government, anybody know what our UBI platform is? How much we pay? 2,000 shillings a month. okay, to people who make less than 200 bob a day, okay? Raila wants to raise that to 6,000 shillings a month. I'm not going to get involved in politics today, but that's the system that exists. The problem is sometimes that money doesn't actually reach people because there's corruption, there's graft, there's theft at the actual people, there's all kinds of stuff, exactly, right? The money just disappears, we don't know, right? So what Kotani Pay is doing, together with a company from Spain, they've created these blockchain pools of capital for each individual refugee camp. And then the refugees can sign up for the program on their feature phones with M-Pesa and receive 200 bob a day payment from these crypto pools. And because it's all on blockchain, it's completely immutable, to come back to that earlier term.
Transparent.
What's that?
Transparent.
And completely transparent. And so if it disappears anywhere, we can tell exactly where it went, what wallet it went to, etc., right? So you were mentioning before that one of the benefits of Bitcoin is that there's no KYC, that there's no association with individuals. Nobody, you can be anybody, right? So that would seem to say to me that that promotes corruption and theft and those kinds of things instead of fighting it. So, but I know it does both. So how do you think about that?
I feel the centralized, at the end of the day, I would like to share something about centralized and decentralized, because this is something which will really help you guys a lot. Centralized is Facebook, centralized is Google, centralized is WhatsApp, centralized is M-Pesa. You remember the time about 6 months ago when WhatsApp was shut down for one day? Because it was a central server. Similarly, in the Bitcoin is decentralized. Now everybody keeps shouting these words, decentralized, which means practically that every computer is running the software, you call it, or the node in different part of the world. Let's say there is a Bitcoin node being run in Kazakhstan, one is being run in Australia, one is in Argentina, and one is in Kenya. Can you attack that server? That is decentralized. The purpose of decentralized is like nobody owns it, and in centralized, somebody owns it. A simple example would be bank. It is centralized. Tomorrow you do a higher transaction of over $1,000, they will come knocking your doors like, why are you doing this? Your accounts are seized. You cannot function it. And similarly, as there are a lot of blockchains, there is Bitcoin, there is Ethereum, there is Cardano, XRP, 17,000 of those. Most of them are claiming to be decentralized but are not decentralized. So as such, when NFT is being minted, it's being minted on a centralized chain which is owned by someone which has the power to do anything to it. That is the symbol between decentralization and centralization, right? I just wanted to share this out because this was something was getting carried away between what is decentralized, because as he meant out, Mama Gogo?
Mama Mboga. Yeah.
Mama Moga. Mama Moga doesn't care about decentralization because she is already decentralized. If you remember, Africa was all tribes. We were all decentralized. We were all happy in our tribes. We were happy. 200 people, 400 people is easy to take care of than to take care of 50 million people. Because the tribe knows what the tribe needs. We all were decentralized. Then we got into centralized. A simple example would be Europe. You see Europe? They all were separate countries, then they all came down into the Schengen together, and now everybody wants to go to decentralized. Such is the evolution of life. First, you want to be together. Oh no, we are done with it. Let's be separate. Oh, after 100 years, we'll be like, oh, let's get back together. Because if we are together, we will have unity. We will grow.
And the pendulum swings back and forth, and back and forth. All right, let me grab your microphone. We're down to the last few minutes here of the panel. We had a good discussion. Let's open this up to some questions from the audience. I know you guys came here to try to understand some of this, so let's ask anything you want. Doesn't even have to be blockchain related. If you want to ask me about, who my favorite rapper is, we can talk about that too. Go for it.
I have a question to the lady.
The lady, Fatma.
Yes, to Fatma. So she's talked about NFTs. From May 3, there has been a 90 to 80% plummet in the sales of NFT. True or false?
True.
So how are you planning to tackle this? Because
tackle what? You're suggesting that's a problem.
Yes, there has been a 90% of plummet in sales.
So what?
A negative plummet.
Yeah, but so what? Why is that a problem?
Well, the value is going down.
The value of what?
The value of what?
Of NFTs, like how many people? Okay, there has been the number of people interested in buying and selling the NFTs have reduced by 80%.
What I can say is it depends on what that NFT does. There's so many types of NFTs. So are you just talking about the board app ones, or which one are you talking about? Because when you say, for example, if Octopizzo decides to come up with his own NFT, will the price of other NFTs affect the price of Octopizzo's NFTs?
Okay, speaking from an open source point of view.
Yes.
As much as we concentrate on what maybe Octopizzo's NFT.
Yeah.
There's the interest, right?
Yeah.
If today everybody loses interest in using the Kenyan currency.
Yeah.
All right, and says maybe let's adopt the USD, right?
Yeah.
There'll be a negative. There'll be a negative that will bring up a negative effect on the Kenyan currency. No.
So I think let me just jump in for a second, right? So we talked today a lot about different kinds of NFTs, right? And we talked about it's going to be cars and land titles and all these kinds of things that are going to happen in NFTs. At the moment, we're like 1% or 2% of the way into the story of what NFTs are. And so far, they've really been art-focused and like talking about the Bored Apes and these sorts of things, right? So the value of those and the land rush that happened, because remember, NFTs didn't really exist 2 years ago, right? So the total data is a huge spike. And if you look at any release of any IPO of stock market or ICO of coins, whatever, you usually get a big spike and then it comes down, right? That's to be expected. But furthermore, remember we talked at the beginning about, we're not talking today about investing in NFTs or investing in crypto, etc., right? What we're talking about is using them and as somebody creating them. Does it make sense to create NFTs today? Yes, as much as it did a year ago, right? Are there as many people who are willing to throw money at you? No, there's not, because people have now learned on what are good projects and bad projects, and the bad ones are no longer getting funded, or at least not as much.
Okay,
but this was a good question, and I think let's move on, okay?
Jay, let me just add something on it.
Sure.
Yeah, so my brother, when it comes to trending topics, some majority of people, for instance, would want to invest in a trending thing. And that is a wrong reason why you should invest in something. That's why it becomes popular within a very short time, and then it starts plummeting. But if we go to the clear use, the utility behind it, it will make a lot of sense than going for it because it's trending at the marketplace.
For sure. All right, let's move on to the next question. Who else has got a question? Here we go, right here. Oh.
Yeah, I've got a question for Paco. I saw you'd been to a bar in Matwapa. I saw the flyer you'd posted. It looks a very interesting bar. What was it like?
This lady has a crazy story. She is a very famous masseuse here in Niali region.
and she ended up getting someone to pay her almost 200,000 Kenyan shillings per massage. And from all that money, she ended up starting her bar. And then she came across somebody called David from Australia who told her about cryptocurrencies. And she's been into it from the last 1 year, and she's doing pretty good with it. The bar is open 24/7. It's called Tina's Night Lounge, and she accepts Bitcoin.
She accepts Bitcoin. All right. Next question was here. Yeah, in the red cross shirt. Oh, it's not on. Red one. Okay.
Hi guys. So my question is about the cryptocurrency. You talked about Ninile Bitcoin, okay? I know Bitcoin is so secured to everybody, but the story of a guy that bought a Bitcoin with $3, I think, if I'm not wrong, like 10 years ago. And usually Bitcoin gives you 10 chances to provide your password. And if you forget the password, you don't get the exact money you have. And the money that he was to get, it was like $244 million. But he didn't get the money because he forgot the password. So what do you say in that case?
It's gone. It's good for the Bitcoin community. The price will go up more. And yeah, it's not your keys, not your coins. That's the basic rule of Bitcoin. So everybody who buys any Bitcoin on any exchange is practically still in a centralized exchange.
Yeah,
now,
but
and this person, this friend of yours, this person, he was not on a centralized exchange because he did not trust the exchange.
It's not about trusting the exchange, but it's about he just took the Bitcoin with $3. He didn't see that much money for him that time.
Yeah.
But it leveled up to that $244 million. But Bitcoin can also encrypt his password and help him with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But they don't exist. That assumes that there is some central organization that could do that keeps the password, that could remind him of the password. It's not that he tried 10 times and they said, no, that's not right. There's 12 words you have to memorize as your key, and nobody stores those, right? If you forget them, you forget them. It's like, for example, if you keep all of your money in the world in your wallet, but you don't have any ID in your wallet, you just have the cash, and then someday you drop the wallet on the ground, it's just gone. You're not going to get it back.
So
right?
It's just gone like that with the 244 million.
There is a lot gone. There is almost 2 million Bitcoins gone.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea? It's gone, and it's good. It makes you be more responsible for your own money. Yeah?
So don't lose your passwords.
Yeah. And or leave it on an exchange and say, oh, I forgot my password. And then when you go to claim your Bitcoin, they're like, oh my God, do a KYC. Oh my God, how did you make this money? Oh, sorry, we cannot do this. And you're caught up. So it's pro and con. Absolutely. Either you have it or you don't have it. When it's good, it's good. The more you lose, the more it grows.
All right, we're down to the last few minutes. Next question. Anybody else? We did such a great job today, there's no questions left.
Hello.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah, my name is Ali Nur Ali. One time I come up with an application that I wanted to develop, but I really needed some guideline from you guys. So the application is called Anacom, a cycle of money, where there was a problem in something called Roundtable. Roundtable is a system where people meet up and contribute like each 100 bob, 100 bob, 100 bob, and then after 1 month, one person receives that money, another person receives the other share, the other month. It's like a chama, yeah. It's like a chama.
Yeah.
So I found that my parent was complaining a lot about trust issues in chama. So I decided to come up with an application that it's going to connect people. It's like a round table system, a cycle of money, whereby it doesn't have that we meet physically, me and you here in Mombasa, where we can sit and contribute that money, and then it comes to you. Sometimes as a human being, some things may arise in future, like problems, and I may use that money. So that system inaweza kujoin people from all over places, like Mombasa, Nakuru, Nyeri. When every person logs into that portal, he can find that, oh, I'm playing with someone called Alinur, someone called Fatma, someone called Amos, someone called Tony. In this table, I'm supposed to receive like 30 minutes to come, I'm receiving. The next day, Tony is receiving.
So it sounds like a really cool concept. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question regarding that.
Okay.
So the concept, it reached somewhere that it really, it became tough to me to reason, where now the NFT comes in. Whereby when someone has received that money, if I have received 10,000, now it is almost time to receive 10,000. The trust here, when I decide that I will not participate in the game, how will I be able to retrieve this money or get this?
Sure. So it's interesting. This brings up something that we didn't get a chance to talk about and we maybe should have today, called a DAO. D-A-O. Okay? Jargon. Anybody?
Have you heard about DAOs?
Anybody else? Yes. So DAO stands for, anybody? I know you know what it means. No, not a DAO like the sailboat. Decentralized Autonomous Organization, right? Basically, a DAO is a group of people coming together towards a single purpose, in your case, the round table to collect funds and distribute funds. The A in DAO means autonomous. So the rules of the behavior of the organization, of the DAO, are defined upfront by everybody and written in computer code. So the computer code for your round table would say, anybody who pays in gets a number in the queue. And every month, at the end of the month, we take the total amount that's paid out, and it goes to whoever was number one, as an example, right? And once that's automated, nobody can change it, nobody can corrupt it, nobody can steal it, right? It all just happens, right? And that's how a DAO can work. And that then is part of what we talked about as a trustless system, right? That you don't then have to trust that, you know, Moses is going to take your money and give it out to the right person and not run away with it, right? What about the receiver? To confirm that you received it, again, it's written on the blockchain. Everybody can see it. It's transparent. If you don't pay, you're not entered into the list. Well, I don't want to write your DAO for you, right? But these are the kinds of things you want to think about. Go on YouTube. There's a ton of videos on how to build a DAO, and think about that. Okay. So we're coming to the end of the day. We have more panels to get to. Can I talk to you afterwards? Is that okay? Do you want everybody to hear it, or is it okay? Can we do it? Okay. Let's do one last one. We got time for one more. Here we go. Introduce yourself.
Thanks. My name is Helena. So I'm a young aspiring entrepreneur, and you've convinced me that I want to be a blockchain entrepreneur.
Good for
blockchain.
you. It is a minimum investment of 5 million shillings. If you just want to give it to me, I will give you the membership card so you can become a blockchain entrepreneur. And you'll get that in the mail. And then next month, congratulations, the money will start flowing and you'll be all set. No, there are so many great resources on the internet. There's some great courses about how to do be a blockchain entrepreneur. There's some very cheap courses that are available, some free ones. I can send you links if you send me a WhatsApp, whatever. But yeah, I've spent like the last year just learning this stuff. It's a very deep rabbit hole. I would suggest everybody, before you invest anything, learn about it, understand it. Blockchain is not particularly scammy any more than anything else, but it is complicated, and it's important to learn it. So let's get sort of final thoughts. Let's go around one quick round. Go ahead, Hassan.
Okay, thank you so much.
So anyone who wants to invest in NFTs, as Jay has said, or Bitcoin or whichever project on blockchain, number one step is what? Number one step? No, not sending him 5 million. Number one step is knowledge. Seek for knowledge. Knowledge will help you now know where to invest, which one is legit, which one will be able to give you a future return. Thank you so much. It will be on Blogy, whereby anyone, regardless of your status, can still own a piece of real estate wealth and be able to propel your dreams forward. So we're coming up with the first ever mall that people will use. I heard somebody mention about metaverse. Anyone who have ever heard about metaverse?
Jargon. We don't have time for new jargon right now. Let's move on.
Yeah, sure. So we're coming up with the mall, and we are going to have a metaverse virtual shopping system, whereby with your VR glasses, you can be able to shop while at home.
Oh, very cool, very cool. All right, Fatma.
Okay, I don't have much to say, but all I can advise you is technology is moving at a really fast pace. So don't just stay back and be left behind. During the early 2000s and 90s, most of us didn't know that we're going to use smartphones and all this type of technologies. So it's evolving and it's moving really quick. So don't get left behind. You should do your research. Be careful out here. Don't just listen to someone who comes to tell you that you should invest in this, invest in that without doing proper research. Yeah, and I can say just keep up with the pace of technology.
Fantastic. All right. Paco, final thoughts.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you. Getting lost. So, do you know how many million bitcoins are there? 21 million bitcoins only. And how many people in this world?
7 billion.
7 billion. So, there is not enough bitcoin for everyone. So, my only advice would be, starting for the first, what he said was do your research. Second, don't get scammed into altcoins. Third, buy some bitcoin. Thank you.
Nice. This is not to be conceived as an investment recommendation or anything. It's got to be like one of those finance commercials. All right, thank you so much, everybody. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope we sort of answered some of the jargon and managed to address it. I hope you learned something. Thank you so much for attending. Pwani Innovation Week is my favorite time of the year. It's so great to be amongst all of you here in Swahili Pot. And thank you for coming. Have a great day. We'll all be around all afternoon. Nice.
It's another one, and another one, and another one. A-Town, keep better to the wall. A-Town, keep better to the wall. A-Town, keep better to the wall. Now bring it back activity. Now bring it back activity. Now bring it back activity. DJ.
Asante sana. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, the amazing panelists. That was an interesting conversation right there.
Appreciation within the context of social development. But what it would also catalyze for the Pwani Innovation Week is indeed the diversity and the important role that diversity has with respect to stimulating and aggregating innovation and ideas. And this will be achieved, through this connection between the Indian Ocean, where you are just now, and indeed the Atlantic Ocean. And so this is a formidable opportunity within this context, together with the fact that with DRC Congo joining us, that'll mean an additional 2.5 million square kilometers, that'll total 5.5 million square kilometers in totality, creating the necessary space to carry out much activity, but also the opportunity to appreciate the incredible diversity from lands to people to different resources. And this indeed would be part and parcel of how we promote greater levels of value and a value proposition back to our social, economic, and environmental transformation. And so it's within this context that enterprise and social development and social engagements should be seen anew by way of the fact that, that within this context, they're borderless regions. And the context of being able to then achieve opportunity within this area is extraordinary. And it certainly means that within the context of what you're doing as Pwani Innovation Week, by promoting that necessary coordination and choreography, that you're actually stimulating and encouraging people to engage in these opportunities. And this is indeed a remarkable platform. So I do congratulate you, ladies and gentlemen, by way of your engagement over the last few days, but also the fact that, you've got together, you've networked, you've promoted the necessary dialogue. And within this context of dialogue, you go back to whatever you're doing until the next event, but you're far more richer, you're far more connected, and you realize that you're not alone within this quest of trying to express innovation in its entirety. And so I do appreciate the work that has been achieved with respect to the hackathons, the boot camps, as well as the courage that you've shown by way of showcasing innovations, and also addressing this very pertinent need of diversity, of how we are inclusive to women in technology. After all, their perspectives are different, they're enriching, they'll only promote the necessary sustainability and transformation by their participation. But also the network sessions, as well as the talent sessions, are an incredible testimony that indeed we have very unique capacities. These need to be nurtured, and therefore I close thanking the leadership of the Pwani Innovation Week for all that it does consistently to bring all stakeholders together, and very much endorse that this is the right path as the public sector develops the necessary policy, legislation, regulation, and standards in order to create access to opportunity. I close by thanking you, and I wish you a very good evening, and I look forward to seeing you at the next Pwani Innovation Week as we strengthen the overall engagement, but also the inclusivity of this very important event that promotes development. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kevit Desai, the PS State Department of East Africa Community, taking us to the end of this session today. Tumemaliza, but of course, later on from 7 to 9 p.m., there's a networking dinner. So kindly, I know you have to go and freshen up and do everything else. See you later when we have the dinner. Asanteni, that was the session today. Nashukuru.
We have come to the end of Pwani Innovation Week, day 3. And with me, of course, definitely, I cannot leave this place without having Ali Hussein, the Chairman Association of Fintechs in Kenya, simply because the last panel that was up there was speaking about fintech post-COVID. Mr. Ali, maybe you can tell us the importance of fintechs in Kenya.
I think what is really important is to understand the issue around financial inclusion and how fintech is enabling financial inclusion. So financial inclusion, we go to the basic level of access to bank accounts, access to mobile money through M-Pesa and all that. And of course, as you know, during COVID, people are not able to access shops physically and stuff. So fintech played a key role during that time. But I think going forward, you're going to see a lot more of that. So fintech is a key pillar in ensuring that we extend financial inclusion beyond the COVID period.
So that means fintechs really did pick up during COVID-19?
Tremendously.
And is there enough space for youth in fintech?
What I can tell the youth is that there is so much space, they cannot even fill it.
What was your experience during the Pwani Innovation Week lastly?
I think we need to have more of these. So this is a major event for the year, but I'm gonna speak with my brother Mahmoud to ensure that we even have smaller ones every quarter that build towards the final one, which is what we are currently having. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ali. Safe travels. So that was Mr. Ali Hussein, Chairman Association of Fintechs in Kenya, and it was so much fun having to discuss the topic discussion around fintech post-COVID. There is enough space for youth in fintechs. Remember to follow this conversation live at Gilitix Media. If you are not following for the past 3 days, make sure you do so at Gilitix Media on Facebook and as well as YouTube. Thank you. Well, I can see, I know I did close the session, but I can see some of the panelists, very heavy people during the discussions were present. And here with me, I have Isaac? Yeah. Okay, Isaac Gashuru, all the way from Safaricom. Karibu sana.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
First of all, let me just start with a light question. What was your experience during the Pwani Innovation Week?
It's exciting. My experience is, I've seen very young people with a lot of ambitions, and all I can say it's inspiring to see where a young generation, especially in Coast, that has not had a very good reputation with young people, coming together, setting such a big hub, and talking about the next innovation that will come from here.
M-Pesa is among the leading fintechs in Kenya. Maybe during COVID-19, you did, of course, reduce the prices of transaction. But I feel like you returned the prices so quick. Maybe why was that? What was the reason?
So we actually didn't return the prices so quickly. There are some bank to M-Pesa, M-Pesa to bank is still free to date. So the charges that we reinstated was for 101 to 1,000. Below 100 is still free. So so we didn't take away everything, and then we also reduced the tariffs a bit, even for the rates that we reinstated.
In your opinion, do you think fintech, there is space for youths in the fintech world?
There's a lot of space for fintechs. If I may just give you a bit of statistics, the first 2 months of 2022, we have seen over $200 million invested in Kenya in startups in 2 months. $200 million is quite a substantial amount of money. And almost 40% of that amount has gone into fintech companies. So fintech startups, and that tells the young people there's a lot of opportunity. There are actually more people looking for ideas to fund than there is ideas that are coming into the market. So there's a lot of opportunities.
Maybe you can tell them some of the ideas and ways to get to this amount of money.
So we've seen a lot of people look at the credit space. I think almost people now relate fintech to mean credit. But there's a lot, insurance, for example. So insurance products are less than 3% uptake in Kenya. So we see a lot of opportunity in investment savings, less than, I think it's at 12% in Kenya, a percentage of savings. So those areas that are not exploited, there's a lot of opportunity. So it doesn't have to be a credit product competing with Fuliza and Mshwari and all those other things. So create a product that allows people to grow. So invest money, make some profits. And also insurance. Insurance is a big deal in some developed countries. In Kenya, again, it's less than 3%. So there's a lot of opportunity we see.
Should we expect more from Safaricom and especially M-Pesa?
Definitely. We are looking at the next big thing. We're also looking at then using M-Pesa as a foundation, not as a product, bringing together innovators and powering the next phase of growth in Kenya. So yes.
Thank you so much for your time. Yes, that was my last person to interview Remember, the conversation is still ongoing. If you have not watched these videos, guys, we have day 1 interviews, we have day 2 interviews, we have day 3 interviews. We also have the panel discussions. We also have the panel discussions that were run up and running all the way from day 1, day 2, and also day 3. We are on Facebook as at Gilitix Media, and we are on YouTube also as Gilitix Media. I am waiting for people to interview. Don't mind my body language as I keep on looking behind. Oh, here she is. Hi, Faith. How are you?
I'm good. I don't need a microphone. Oh.
We are live. You actually do need a microphone. Yes. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Let me just start with a very light question. What was your experience during the Pwani Innovation Week?
Oh, I just loved it. I've met so many talented young people. I'm like, wow, there's so much potential in this country, and especially in Pwani. So most definitely the next time I'm looking for developers, this is where I'll come to look.
You are a woman in fintech and a woman in innovation and technology as well. How is that for you?
Fun, challenging, and also exciting. You know, fintech and, you know, this whole digital age is the future. So it's exciting in that sense. Why I say challenging is that it's a man's world, but we are slowly changing that. So that the challenge is just pushing in your space. Then once you get your space, you open it up for more people. So we are working on that to make sure when I open that space, I pull in like 5 girls, so then we can be able to win in this tech space. Yeah.
Maybe there is someone looking at you right now and saying, I want to be like you. What's your advice to them?
Probably set your goals and go at them fearlessly. I keep saying everything you want is on the other side of fear. So whatever you want to go at, go for it. I stand here as a woman in tech, but I didn't study technology. So everything I've learned at work through training and just experience. So whatever you want to go at, I think the world has changed. It doesn't matter what you really studied. I've even met people who are leading fintechs in Africa who didn't even get a degree. So wherever you are, just start there and grow. But just know, yeah, everything you want is on the other side of fear. So do it afraid anyway. Yeah.
That was beautiful. Maybe we can, thank you. Maybe we can have you tell us your experience during the 3 days of Pwani Innovation Week.
Oh, fantastic. It was an amazing experience. My name is Mudathir Abdul Karim, and the Innovation Week in itself has been quite a humbling and amazing experience in such a way that we've seen our youth, especially youth from the coast region and Mombasa, stop agonizing, and they're starting to organize themselves into very profitable and lucrative ventures. And this is very, very important. You see, the most important thing for our youth today is the mindset. That is the biggest asset. Once you transform your mindset to be a productive person, then you will be a productive person. But if you still have the victim mentality, you will remain a victim forever. Because it is very easy to point fingers and start blaming others. But once you take the first step towards organizing your life, you are better off than 100 others who are still sitting around waiting to have their destiny changed.
Fun fact, I would see you up and down trying to ensure everything is well taken care of and in place. Why is that important for you?
Well, in management, what they say is there should be a place for everything, and everything should be in its place. And that's what we are doing. As part of the Pwani Innovation Week committee, I am really proud to have seen this event being so successful for everyone. Everyone who has come to this event has gotten value out of it. The sponsors have gotten value out of it. The people who are here have gotten value out of it. Youth are able to communicate. It has created a platform which has grown organically to be able to give the youth a chance to communicate. And kudos to Mentor 001, Mahmoud Noor, for his vision in putting this together. It is no mean task by all intended purposes. Today, what we have witnessed today is renaissance. It's a rebirth. We've seen a change in mindset of our youth. That is so very, very important. They have said, we have stopped putting our hand this way to receive, now we want to give. Whatever little knowledge that you have, the ideas that we have, How can we as youth come together and commercialize these ideas and make a living out of it? And that is the most important thing. We have very important sponsors who are here, like Safaricom, Huawei, and the rest, who are here to mentor these young minds and give them sense of direction to the right place. I mean, there is no better day, yeah, for us to be in Mombasa than today.
Were your expectations met? Did things turn out the way you were expecting them to turn out?
My expectations were not met, actually overwhelmed. It is beyond being met. Yeah? I would say this is one of the most successful events we've had in Mombasa. And to this, I would also like to say, to send our appreciation to His Excellency Governor Hassan Ali Joe for creating such a conducive environment to allow the youth to thrive. Yeah? This is a very important step in setting a very strong foundation to allow our youth to grow. What we have here today, what has transpired within these first 3 days, is enough to give an indicator for even national government to join in and transform this into an economy. And that's what we are looking for.
Thank you so much. I am trying to look for someone to hijack to come and speak about something. Kindly come with me. Hi. Please come. Don't be shy. This is for you and for Pwani Innovation Week. Maybe you can, because we are closing down and we are waiting for the gala night, maybe you can tell us what to expect during the night.
A lot is going to happen, definitely. And now that we are wrapping up the event, this is actually like now the peak of it. So much is going to come and we are really excited. Yes, that's it.
Thank you so much. Maybe you can have your insights as well. Karibu. You tell us what to expect during the gala night.
Okay. Oh, thank you guys for coming. Okay, thank you for coming, guys. What we expect at the gala night, we expect to see very many things. Like we expect to have very many visitors and have fun and enjoy with people.
What exactly is there at the gala night?
At the gala night, we'll be meeting up various performances from different people. We have like some of also the volunteers who are good at performing. They may perform or something like that, yeah. And some great speeches from different people. We're expecting a lot of things to come. I'm called Omar Faisal.
Thank you, Omar. Yeah, I had to speak with one or two of the volunteers because they were people who ensured that this event was successfully up and running. My good name is Caroline Suma, all the way from Bilitix Media. Thanks so much for Pwani Innovation Week, Executive Director Muhammad Noor, for giving us this opportunity to showcase this event live. Thank you, our sponsors, Safaricom, Nema, name them. There are so many, I cannot consume all of them. We are live